Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
With Sean Bell.
Not dead.
James Farley fans, turn off now. He's not here. That's dropped our listener figures by about 3. James is not here this week, and he says he's too busy to do the podcast, which is fine. We've all been there. I was there a few weeks ago. You have to wonder that the week after he completely fucked the audio. Is that the real reason?
Yeah, it is convenient.
He hasn't shown up. I listened back to it because we recorded. I had the backup recording from a lot earlier because we got about 2 minutes in before he said, "Oh no, I cocked up it's recording on my internal mic. Should I should we stop?" I was like, "Yeah, let's stop." So we all stopped, and then I said, "Right, okay." He said, "Oh, it says USB unknown device. That's weird." I said, "Well, relaunch Audacity." Okay, right, I'm ready to go. And I knew in the back of my head he hasn't relaunched it. I said, "Have you done a test recording?" And he went, "Yeah, hold on." Okay, yeah, it's fine. I said, "How have you done a test recording without speaking?"
Recorded silent.
No, I did it. No, it's fine. And of course it wasn't. It was a nightmare.
Done. I think it's tomorrow. I think because the global head of news was on the show.
He was sweating. He was sweating.
Nervous.
And then, do you know what? And if he was on the show, I wouldn't have a go at him because I'd have just let it slip by and just said, next time, James, come on, mate. Done one of those.
You definitely would have let it slip by.
Okay, maybe not. But it just made me laugh, the fact that we specifically spoke about it. And if you remember at the time, Matt, about 3 times during the recording, I was like, "James, there's something going on with your mic, mate. Can you just check it out?" Because he was like booming. It was just
he was
weird.
Also peaking. We're like, "You are sure?" It's like, I'm sure. Well, at least we can guarantee he will not be recording tonight from the internal mic.
No,
it's true.
No,
that's a fact.
Good. That's helpful.
It's one of us instead.
Yeah, definitely.
One week, Dave, I really want you to do it, just because it'll be funny. But not going to happen. Professional.
I'm way too professional for that sort of thing. What a great week. What a great week. Had a lovely birthday. Thanks for all the messages. They didn't listen to your advice there, Matt, with the please, please don't send.
I didn't see many for James, even with the call to arms.
No, there was that call to arms fell on flat ears. Is that what I say? I don't know. That's
you can't say that anymore. You can't say that.
Deaf ears, isn't it? Yeah,
you probably can't say that now, actually, to be fair.
It's true. But no.
Anyway, you had a lovely birthday.
Banger. I went to see a band, Matt. I went to a gig.
Ooh, should we say concert now? You're like mid-30s.
Yeah, You've been to a rock concert.
It was a rock concert. No, I went to see this new band that I think they're the best new band. Swedish Death Candy. If you've not heard of them, check them out. They're well good. They're a little band from London, and they're amazing. I can't believe they're not massive. Well, not massive. They're brand new.
Well, I mean, Dave, you just mentioned them on this podcast, so they are massive now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's sort of how it works.
I saw them at the Lexington. Heard of that venue, Matt? In North London, and next week they'll be playing the O2, I believe.
Just started their world tour.
Yeah, no, it's fucking well good, so check them out. But no.
Did you do any dancing? Did you do any crowd surfing?
There may be videos on the Twitter of me. Oh my god, I was such a fucking old man at a rock concert trying to act young. Everyone around me was a lot younger, and I'm right at the front on my own, just banging my head back and forth, just thinking, I am so cool.
But you weren't getting involved in the mosh pit, you were just like head
I was
banging.
I was in the mosh pit at one point. You haven't seen, well, my brother put up I'll send you the full video. My brother's got a Snapchat story that he saved and sent me, which is literally just me getting progressively worse during the night.
I was going to say, because when was it you saw, was it Queens of the Stone Age you saw with Andy, possibly other people?
Oh man, that must have been 4 or 5 years ago.
Was that long ago? I was going to say, because I heard you were a fucking liability in the mosh pit. So.
But I got involved.
Yeah,
I still had
That's what I mean.
I was in my 20s then, though, so I could get away with it. 34, not so much. Sean, welcome back.
Yeah. Hello.
How you doing? Are you clean?
I think so, yeah. I mean, but then I thought that the first time after I was ill, and then fucking 2 weeks later.
Sorry, it's just the way you said that sort of implied he had been on drugs.
Oh, I see.
No,
he's had 2 weeks
I'm
off.
just
He's
talking of
filthy with illness.
bacteria. Are you clean of bacteria? No, because I mean, I had it at the start of winter, where it was just like it was constant. When I had tonsillitis like 3 weeks in a row, it was ridiculous. But yeah, especially with kids, because it just gets passed back and forth forever. So you'll definitely be off next week.
Can't wait.
But did you have any notes from last week's show?
Yeah, I mean, just a few. Like, it was a really good show.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tamor was ace. It's very, very rude of him to be too legitimately successful to do this on a regular basis.
I know. I still get surprised.
He should quit his job. And
I still get surprised that he doesn't just go, Dave, mate, I'm on GameSpot.
Can you stop messaging me? This is embarrassing now.
But no, I mean, so obviously the HDR stuff.
Oh yeah.
That was amazing.
I will say the HDR when you're in a town at night is fucking tremendous.
It's tremendous, it is.
Go on, what HDR stuff, Sean?
Like, I mean, it's one thing fucking up and not being there to defend yourself. It's another not being there and not having any intention of defending yourself, just wanting to be there to have a sense of humour about it, but not.
It's true. It's true.
But not having that opportunity. That was very good.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like, I do feel for you in a way, right? Because it's just, it's one of those things where you say something and you don't think twice about it, and then I don't know. It's hard. It's like being convinced that a certain song is by a certain band and being adamant about it, and then having it flat out proved wrong afterwards, and just thinking, "Oh God, why was I so sure? Like in myself."
Because even like, so when I read that article and I was like, right, well, I'm going to try turning HDR off then, and it was like during a daytime bit. And it looked loads better, as everyone's been reporting. And but part of me was like, well, I'll wait till night time and then I'll try again because I'm pretty sure
because I'm pretty sure that the town.
Pretty sure I've got on public record saying that it's amazing.
This town is no. It was a different town. So I'll wait another day.
I'll try the other town that I was in.
It's too dark on this one.
But yeah, even at night time, you turn HDR back on. It's like, oh no, it's all a bit washed out and weird, a bit rubbish.
but wasn't there part of there's like a little ball of pride deep down for a split second you turn HDR on and went, nah, this does look better, and then go, oh no, it don't.
It's a bit like when you've been like, when you first start messing around with equalizer settings on a stereo or whatever, and you're like, oh, I made this sound really good, and then you put it back to normal, and you're like, I think this might be better on normal actually. No, I'll try it on the settings I just did. I'm pretty sure my settings are better, and it's bollocks.
Oh God, no, this sounds much better, guys.
Yeah. Right, what else? Oh, I enjoyed the bit with Dave, you're going to have a right laugh with 2 kids. The one bit where I think like James said something, but he sort of got talked over, and then you just went like, what was it? What did you say, Matt?
Oh my
James?
God! Yeah,
I've told you before.
My mum.
I wasn't even there, Dave.
For names, I am absolutely appalling. Like genuinely, I'm shockingly bad.
Like always the last person's like, no, Sean, Andy, Chris,
well,
James.
I wouldn't keep trying once I get it right, Matt. Will I? Of course, the last one's right.
I mean, you started on something that wasn't even on the podcast. So.
I know. I'm awful with names, man. I'm telling you. But also, I must say that for the first 20-25 minutes of that show, it was a fucking nightmare, wasn't it, Matt? Like the audio quality on Discord that day was just
going weird.
Yeah. That's why at the start we're just all talking over each other. There's moments where we're going, what? And the bit where Matt like said something and it went silent, and he goes, okay. Which was funny anyway. But it was because we were all going, didn't quite understand what he said, so I don't know how to continue the conversation.
It was just a very bad week on Discord.
We had a rough time last week.
What else we got? James making that weird comment about I always stab him in the back. What's that about?
When did he say that?
I can't remember.
He definitely said that.
Yeah, it was something. Just like but Sean probably just stabbed me in the back as usual.
I think he did it once, maybe.
Yeah,
I think it was something to do with like, one of his Google articles, and then he I don't know, he remembers and he doesn't.
Oh God, he's going to have to defend that next week, isn't he? Because you need to really. I mean, as we've said before, but I was checking today. We've got 5 episodes left before.
I've been meaning to count, but I've been a bit scared to count.
Right, so yeah, we got 5 left before the big one.
Yeah.
So we're really going to have to start sorting these relationships out now, aren't we?
Or maybe we absolutely don't. Maybe that's how we keep the fire lit, is by just...
But if I was in your position, and I'm giving away some of my tactics here because I have used them in the past, right? Who's more likely to vote for one of your games? I think out of the 3 of us, it's probably James, right? So if you split up, you've really got to think that's quite an important member to split up with. It's you see, you got to think about these things because it's going to get fucking nasty.
Stop being tactical with my friendships. That being said, fucking hell, when he was reading out the questions, like James, I know not all of them are bangers, right? And and by necessity, you can filter a couple out. But just every fucking question, he was just like, do I have to read this one?
Yeah, he was not happy last week, was he?
No, he was not.
This is it. I mean, he's having a go at you, but I know this for a fact from James. James much prefers having you on the show than when you're not there. Because when you're not there, I don't know why. I don't know what happens. But for some reason, me and Matt, like our dicking about, just calms down when you're on the show. When you're not on the show, we dick about a lot more. We do. Yeah. The thing is, with Timur, if anything, like Jesus up. So when it got to the questions at the end, it was just me, Matt, and Timur. At one point, we were just shouting Gordon Freeman over and over again. And Jason's got no time for that nonsense. So
he didn't like the Half-Life stuff at all, did he?
No, I don't think he had any problem with the emails or anything like that. I just think he was sick of us three by the end of it. My favourite moment last week was when James turned around to Matt and just went, "Look, Matt, just fuck off."
Yeah, and obviously way worse things to him than whatever I said on that episode. But.
Yeah. It's just built up. It's like shaking a fizzy bottle of pop.
Yes, okay.
Anything else?
No, that was it.
Good.
Enjoyed it.
Good. Thank you. Welcome back. Should we get on to the listeners' feedbacks, Matt?
This is the biggest news. It was called Snowbow Kids. The game I thought it was called Snowbow Kids, and then Pure corrected me.
It was called Snowboard Kids over here, right? I think it's just the Japanese title, when sort of written in like Roman characters, is written as Snowbow Kids.
Well, the thing is though, right? When I first saw this tweet come in, I just thought, I'm going to lay into Matt and say, why don't we just call it all the Japanese names or whatever like that, right? But if I had known that was the title of it in Japan, I guarantee me and all my mates would have called it Snowbow Kids. Like, if we'd have seen that, it would have cracked us up and we would have called it Snowbow Kids. So, you know what I mean? What could you do? I was actually quite happy that come out. Especially listening back and hearing James quote, I quote, "It will never be it was never called that, Matt." Like, how you haven't clipped that is beyond me.
What you mean this, Dave?
It would never be called that, Matt. It would never be called that.
You're a genius.
There's also this one was good.
Surely you didn't think that was really the name.
Yes, Matt.
Yes, James, I did. Right, so Darren got get message saying it was correct. Then Matt Charlesworth message saying yes, it was correct. And I googled it. I mean, I don't know why I didn't Google this the week before. I just didn't, But yeah, basically, I found like a scan from N64 magazine, which is a magazine I absolutely loved back in the day, and they did a review of it, and it was called Snowbow Kids. Obviously, that was like a Japanese version. It was announced at Space World, also with that name, and I guess it just stuck. And
Do you want to play that clip again, Matt?
I can do.
And it would never be called that, Matt. It would never be called that. Yeah, and you're not doing HDR, so you're not seeing the whole thing either.
I mean, we could just build up.
David, I'll play my second. You play your other one.
What? I've only got one of him.
Surely you didn't think that was really the name.
I thought, I just play this one again, shall I?
Yeah, and you're not doing HDR, so you're not seeing the whole thing either.
We need an app, don't we? A soundboard app.
Yeah.
Just things that we've got wrong.
Lama laptop. Anyway, so the main thing was it was Amiga and Mental. It was called Snowbow Kids, and I thought a lot better. There's also a PlayStation version, also called Snowbow Kids Plus. Really? Again, the Japanese version. But
anyway. Congratulations, Matt.
I could sleep well now, knowing that it wasn't me going crazy. It was at one point the name of the game.
That's it.
Liz Walker emailed in on a totally separate subject. Just wanted to say Tamor hit the nail on the head with the Diablo Immortal announcement last week. While the usual disclaimers apply that the internet loves to rage, the developers didn't deserve the shit they got on stage. There was another aggravating factor for me as someone who considers himself a hardcore Blizzard fan. The price of the virtual ticket is £35, while the actual BlizzCon ticket to attend in person is $199. Whether you view virtually or in real life, that's a lot of money to pay for an event where no new games, apart from Diablo Immortal, were announced. The most exciting announcement they had, in my view, was Warcraft 3 Reforged, which is obviously a remake of Warcraft 3. This year, I decided not to buy a virtual ticket due to tight finances, and quite frankly, I'm absolutely relieved I didn't, as I suspect I would feel quite ripped off at that price point. Ultimately, I think Blizzard should have just skipped a year, something they have done before, as it seems to me they just didn't have enough to show to justify a 2-day con experience. I mean, I've heard on other podcasts as well, people saying, obviously Sony didn't do PlayStation Experience this year because they say they didn't have enough stuff. Also, Blizzard could have just not done the big sort of keynote, but I guess historically they've always done that.
Yeah, if they have in the past called it off because there's not enough to talk about, then they know that is an option. If they've done it like every year for God knows how many years, then it's kind of embarrassing to have a year off. But if they've set a precedent for occasionally being like, well, no, let's not do this year, then yeah, that is kind of odd, to be fair.
What's the e-ticket? Is the e-ticket literally just to get to watch the keynotes on stream?
On Twitch and
I
stuff.
guess so, yeah.
Or I think you watch it in the Battle.net client or something. But yeah, you get to watch it live in the client.
Yeah, but that's isn't that a bit much?
It's a bit steep, yeah.
Because
you can't watch it anywhere else, so not bad.
Like,
I mean, if you can't afford to go and you're really into it, then...
Okay, so here's the question. If they started charging $35 to watch E3 live, would you pay that? Really?
Yeah, I'll
definitely Matt, you're the problem, aren't you? That's crazy.
Well, Hans, so next year's a bit of a weird thing because you're not here, but, say you were here next year, suddenly we would have no E3 coverage or no, I guess we could still hear the news.
Catch up afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look. All right, so you get more than just watching the stuff.
Right,
so
okay.
Virtual ticket, so yeah, you get to watch a load of live streams and stuff, so there's like esports stuff, there's an opening ceremony, there's the keynote.
Opening ceremony?
Yeah, mate.
What does that involve?
Christ knows. But then, yeah, so there's like a pre-show video series. There's like, you get loads of sort of in-game stuff for like all the games, like Overwatch goodies and Heroes of the Storm, stuff like that. Get an archive of last year's stuff. That seems a bit weak.
Just chuck it in. Fuck it. It's another bullet point.
So it's not just getting to watch the keynote, I guess. But I mean, that's
the
still...
argument is when are you taking advantage of fans? And because I'm assuming the keynote stuff is also cool interviews and Q&A sessions and stuff like that. It's not just marketing for their upcoming games. I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but it's just I suppose that is the question. When are you taking advantage of your fans unfairly? Yeah. And when are you like actually providing a service that they want? It's strange. It kind of feels, like that stuff is for your fans and you want to rope them in. So making it free seems better in the long run, but obviously I don't know how much money gets pulled into these events. So
yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Like
£199.
$199, but
there's
it was still like £150.
How much is an actual E3 ticket? Do we know? Off the top of our heads, I'm just curious.
I don't know because I've only just come around.
I think they're around $200. I'm very sure I saw loads of it.
Yeah, maybe that's it because I don't really know how much these events. Like, how much is a ticket to Comic-Con? I bet that's quite expensive as well, right?
Yeah. Okay, so E3 early bird is $150. After that, it's $250.
Let's go, Sean.
Let's do it, mate.
We should be invited. We ain't
2019.
We should be doing a live show there. You know it. I see what you're saying, and I see why that suddenly becomes more of an issue for the fans. Obviously, we're not in that sort of world, so we didn't know that stuff last week. But when you start putting high ticket prices on stuff and not delivering, then you can understand why some people seem to be more angry than what seems normal, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's just that classic sort of uncomfortable situation of like, hey, let's put a thing on for the fans. Oh, okay, like the demand is ridiculous. We're going to have to start charging or else it's, logistically unfeasible. Okay, now that we're charging, people are demanding way more from it. And it just becomes like a sort of endless sort of escalation from there, I guess.
Well, it is, but then you've got to understand the expectation. You've got to manage expectation. Do you know what I mean? Like that's something that you have to do if you're putting on one of these events. You've got to manage expectation. You can't deliver. You can't fail to. You can't ask for money, take it, and fail to deliver. And now, don't get me wrong, there will always be some people moaning. But it seems that this was particularly bad, and they misjudged it wildly this time. Okay.
I mean, but what did you think about the controversy, Shongshu? Obviously, it wasn't here last week.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that guy asking if it was an April Fool's joke or whatever was fucking cringeworthy.
It's the worst.
And I do think there's an element of like Timur was saying, like he's a Diablo fan, and yeah, he's well up for playing it on his phone because why wouldn't you be? So like there is a bit of like platform snobbiness going on. I think like a lot of sort of Diablo hardcore fans are like, oh, they've done a console version and like they've cut down the interface and simplified it and made it for children. It's like, well, or they've just streamlined it, like maybe it's
right.
better. And
that's right, but this isn't the first time it's happened to a major franchise, is it?
Yeah.
It's not the first time that the internet or fans of a developer have kicked off because it's going that route. So surely that they're aware that there was a very high risk of people being pissed off at this stuff. They can't be that.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, even if they know the game is great, then perhaps they should have anticipated that, people would be a bit like, what the fuck? I don't care if there's a mobile game.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Lack of understanding in my book.
But it wasn't so much like, it's the announcement plus the fact there's no Diablo 4. And I think loads of other podcasts have said this week, it's more about if they had like a logo for Diablo 4, that could have helped, or if you had this announcement at the beginning, but saving this as the big sort of announcement at the end was arguably a mistake.
It's what we said. I mean, you look at how Nintendo announced the new Animal Crossing. They had the announcement that everyone wanted just backed up. Like, I mean, they didn't really show much, but there it is, and that's what took the headlines. Not that the person from Animal Crossing is in Smash Brothers, but that there's a new Animal Crossing coming. It's
always like, it reminded me a bit of, like, do you remember years ago Nintendo had like a really shit E3, one of the many, and it was like, because everyone was expecting, like, it had been a while since a new Zelda had been mentioned, and there was no mention of it again at E3. And like, there was an interview with Miyamoto afterwards where he was like, well, of course we're making a new Zelda. We're never not making Zelda. What I mean, do you know what I mean? So like, when people go nuts, like in this instance, why didn't you announce Diablo 4? It's like, they're gonna be making Diablo 4, guys. Like that.
I mean, they've always said as much.
Yeah, but I can understand it.
But I guess
being
they
upset
want
at not
that.
seeing it. Like,
no, it's not about not seeing it. They want to hear the developers talk about it. Like, them just mentioning that it's coming is going to be it's quite a big thing to fans of the series.
Like, I always bang on about like fucking Armored Core and stuff. Because to me, that's not a certainty that they are doing a new one. I mean, they kind of said they are in interviews and stuff, but it's been that long, I don't really know if I believe it anymore. So when that gets announced, I'll go fucking mental. Because it's not a guaranteed thing, whereas big studio hasn't yet announced next iteration in one of their biggest series, doesn't mean they're not making it,
It's true, which technically means that the follow-up to Breath of the Wild is being developed on.
Exactly.
It's being worked on right now.
They've said that this week, haven't they? Like, there's a news story saying, Nintendo working on new 3D Zelda. I didn't even read the piece. I didn't need to. It was like, God, I think because someone
I don't know if I could trust you though, Matt, because you said that Rockstar were working on HDR as well, and
Global
Head of News said no.
I looked into that, but basically they said they're looking at issues, but there's no official mention of HDR.
Looking at issues, as if they didn't know that they didn't implement it.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Like,
whoa, what do you mean there's no HDR? We'll have to take a look at that. Thanks for pointing that out, guys. Like,
Yeah, it is strange how that happened.
Sorry,
I don't know.
There's no what, but we thought that the towns at night.
We heard it on a podcast. The guy said they.
Yeah, our playtester said it looks incredible.
We've spoken to our HDR expert, Sean Bell, and he says our implementation is fucking tremendous.
He's got a good pair of eyes on him, that boy.
Speaking of HDR, Thomas Lamafluff 42, the HDR discussion was hilarious, but readers underscore key interesting point. This 4K HDR stuff doesn't really matter, does it? We're gradually being conditioned to think it does, to spend more money in pursuit of it, only to see things that aren't there. Remember the PS4 Pro launch? People were crowing about the announcements, improvements to games which hadn't actually been enhanced for Pro at all. They spent their money and were told things were better, so they were convinced themselves it was a big leap. I'm complicit in this movement because I do own an X and a Pro, but the truth is we don't really need them. Before these iterations of the consoles came along, we were perfectly happy. So let's have a willy-waving amnesty. When the next gen finally lands, can we all agree that vanilla is fine, thanks, and Sony and Co can keep their supercharged versions? Having said all that, I need to take my early adoption tendencies first. I'm as bad as Matt in that respect, applying my maths to justify a new purchase.
As someone that has seen recently Forza Horizon 4 with HDR turned on, I can't agree that it means nothing. I mean, it looks incredible and it's very noticeably different. And, watching Horizon Zero Dawn as well in HDR was a bit of a mind blower. It was like, holy shit, this really does make a massive difference. So it does. I see what you're saying. Ultimately, does it matter? No. But then I'm assuming, I mean, people always say, when we went HD from standard definition, it was a big upgrade, and it was, but was it really that important? Probably, not in the grand scheme of things. You were still able to play those games. They just looked better in high definition. And the more I play Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox One X, if you're interested, in native 4K without HDR. The more I'm blown away. Like if I was to go back to, I mean, what's another really good example? Rocket League, right? So Rocket League is 4K on the PS4 Pro, and it's still in high HD on the Xbox One X, and they should be upgrading that to 4K. That is massively noticeable. Like, it's insane. We boot it up and we're going, oh, for Christ's sake. Especially after playing a game as clear as Red Dead. Now, obviously, the graphics aren't mind-blowing in Rocket League. The thing runs on Switch, barely, but it runs on Switch. But you really do notice the difference between 4K and HD. So although I disagree with you, I do think we're living in a great time where, there's that thing about, do they have to keep bringing out these like sort of incremental updates? This is a bit frustrating or whatever. But for me, it's just about choice now, isn't it? You don't have to join this 4K stuff and you can still play the latest games. Like you've got the choice there. It's all good. One thing that I did want to ask you actually, Sean, how's your PlayStation 4 running in terms of sound when you're playing Red Dead?
It does get a bit noisy at times.
Where's it particularly noisy? Like in the towns and stuff?
Yeah, Saint-Denis, it gets pretty bad, and it does, like, the frame rate does stutter a little bit sometimes.
There's still some frame dropping on the Xbox One X version, to be honest with you. Especially like I can't even say this without thinking of the quote. I apologise, I'm not going for a joke here. But at the town at night, when there's like a few fires burning and stuff, it can get a bit stuttery, but it's not that noticeable. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's really fucking loud on my Xbox One X.
Really?
No way. Mine's literally been silent.
Yeah, I mean, normally my Xbox is sort of in like the entertainment like cabinet thing, and when it's in that, I basically have to have headphones on pretty much because you can't hear like the game.
No way.
Shit.
But I have like started like extracting it from that and and put it on the floor, and it is a lot quieter. So maybe it's just like the fans echoing in that entertainment.
Have you hoovered out the vents?
It's annoying as fuck. I mean, I haven't like taken it apart like I've done with my PlayStation on occasion.
No, you don't want to take it apart.
No,
but have you tried,
I can't see any dust on the vents or anything. I don't know. It's ridiculously loud. It's like, I was playing maybe this week or last week, and like Jill was in the lounge as I had it on, and she's like, what's happened to your machine? She thought something was wrong with yours. She's convinced something's broken on the Xbox, but I think it's just how it is. But
I genuinely haven't heard it since I bought it. There's not been a single set. It's been the best. And yeah, no, with Red Dead, it's not the Xbox doesn't make a single noise. It's crazy. I was really happy with it. Because that's one of the reasons why I bought the fucking thing. But have you noticed that Sony have been eking out new iterations of their PS4?
I've heard the new Pro is super, way quieter.
Yeah.
But then mine was really quiet, and my Xbox was silent in the beginning. I think it's just over time, things, dust or whatever. Just
man, you've got to get that cleaned out, I reckon.
Yeah, maybe I
crazy.
will. But, it gets me nervous. But yeah, it's loud as fuck. Basically, it's ridiculous. I'd play have headphones on because I want to actually hear the game.
Oh man, that would absolutely bum me out. I mean, I've been playing with headphones on anyway, really, because the sound is so good in that game.
Yeah,
it feels like But it's that would really bum me out. It's literally the reason why I bought it, and so far so good.
Nice one. Mike emails in. I've been considering writing this email for a while now, but I've largely been putting it off. However, at the start of this week's podcast, I felt something needed to be said. In the news section, James said, Overwatch's new hero has been announced. Does anyone care? No, I don't think so. Yes, James, I care. I've noticed of late that there's been a distinct tone when it comes to discussions on subjects that don't directly impact the group. Especially around PC-centric games and news. It's at best disregard, at worst derision. Overwatch is a huge game. Many of your listeners, myself included, love it. For a lot of players, a new hero being announced is a pretty big deal. James casting it away out of hand and the other host agreeing with him can be pretty dismissive of your audience's taste because they don't immediately align with your own. Mike, for a start, that's not true because I added the fucking news story myself. So I'll carry on. The same goes with James's initial reluctance to discuss Diablo Immortal, only including to Moore's insistence. Actually, that was my insistence because it was big news when he pointed it out. As a senior news editor for GameSpot, that it's the biggest news story of the week. I agree, Mike, because I put it in.
He's not the senior news editor for GameSpot, is he?
No, he's a global head. Get that right. Combined with the tone the group can take in relation to PC gamers can be downright respectful. Several weeks ago, there was a discussion involving all of you where you took the piss out of PC gamers who spend money on mechanical keyboards. Mike, I'm literally next to a mechanical keyboard as I speak. Anyway, I'm not one to be easily offended by stuff.
Was it you we were taking the piss out of?
Well, maybe.
No, it was the PC gamer stand at EGX, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
All these people sitting there going, oh, mechanical keyboard. Oh, now I feel cool. Nerds, gone.
I've literally got myself. I'm not one to be easily offended by stuff. It's a bit shit to be lambasting people for investing money in their hobby. PC gamers take pride in their custom hardware. They spend their money making machines that provide the exact experience they're looking for. From a point of balance, I've never once heard any of you talk about PC gamers who spend money on scuff controllers and the like. Though if you have,
console
I'm happy
gamers,
to be corrected.
Yeah.
I understand the four of you are primarily console gamers. I get that. I'm not expecting PC gamer levels of analysis from you or discussions on PC hardware.
Good.
That's not what I listen to you for. But I'm suggesting that as the status of the pod is growing, thank you, and the audience is expanding, thank you, not to disregard aspects of gaming that don't directly interest you, especially when it comes to curating the news. There were some huge stories that came from BlizzCon outside of Ash and the Diablo controversy from the Warcraft 3
the
remaster.
amount of sound he must have made typing this email out. This is going on forever.
Is a loud one. To the first ever non-Korean StarCraft 2 Grand Champion, none of these were even mentioned, but James was happy to point out that the Switch had outsold the GameCube, which is a non-story. If the Switch
we did point that out, to be fair.
That will be big news. Yeah, I mean, we fully agree with you there. I feel like you're cutting out a chunk of your audience by taking a dim view of the PC and PC gamers. What I don't understand is that why Sean plays on PC. Matt has built PCs in the past. I don't get why you disregard big PC related news. And if you don't actually disregard PC gaming, that's certainly how it comes off from a listener's perspective. Last paragraph here. I understand that this might seem like I'm being overly critical on the pod, but don't take it that way at all. I love TCGS. I was a Kickstarter backer on both the t-shirts, which I wear proudly. I want you guys to make the best show you can on a weekly basis, so don't mistake my criticisms for anything else other than a desire to help you produce the best content you can. I'm not asking you to make a concerted effort to cover PC content, but I'm asking you to consider your audience and respect that the audience might be interested in things you guys might not be. That was Mike.
Right, cheers, Mike. First of all, I will say this. Obviously, I'm taking the piss during that bit. I don't mean it. I'm only fucking around, right? That's just what I do. Secondly, I hear what you're saying, and it must be frustrating to be into a side of gaming that we completely dismiss and that we're not interested in, so it doesn't get covered on the show, right? I understand your point of view. But let me ask you this. Would you prefer us to give us our honest viewpoint in that we're not really into PC gaming or we're not into Overwatch? Would you prefer us to pretend that we are to cover this stuff, or sort of bumble our way through the news with this sort of misinformation and making shit up and Overwatch, man, like that sort of chat? Or would you rather us be honest and just say, look, this is our point of view? Like, this is we don't play these games. We're not interested in it. And all right, you might be interested in the news, but we wouldn't have anything to add to it because we're not in your world. We're not in that. What's the best way of putting it? We're not into that side of gaming, so any of our opinions is completely invalid. And that includes the ones where we're taking the piss.
I think
so
he
don't
knows
take it too seriously.
That. I don't think he's asking us to include stuff. I think he's just asking us not to be dismissive of it.
I cannot not be dismissive, Sean. It's so funny to just write off a game, especially in front of Tamor, who adores it. It's too funny to me. So sorry about that. I don't mean it as a personal dig. And if you're into that side of gaming, then all good. But I can't stop myself. And if that annoys you even further, Mike, then don't worry. Couple of months and I'm gone, mate. And I'm sure everything will tone down.
6 more shows. Count them down.
And Matt, when Matt takes over, he's so obsessed with listening figures and numbers, so you'll suddenly hear him getting into PC building and talking about mechanical keyboards, and you wish you'd never asked.
Do you know the keyboards? Mechanical keyboards with all fucking rainbow lights on them and stuff. Fine, it's the mice that get me with the interchangeable weights, so that you can change how they feel, the fact they look like they've got all fucking spikes on them and stuff. That's where I drop off.
I mean, but there is a console version of that. Like the whole Xbox Elite controller, which I was looking at this week and thinking, if there's a Black Friday deal, and then I looked at it, I just thought, really, do I need that? I used to take my PlayStation 4 pads apart and put different sticks on them because I was insane. So, I mean, we've all got our little quirks. It's fun to look at other people's quirks and ignore your own. Get offended when you get
the scuff controllers do look good, but they are expensive.
Do they? What are they?
Well, they're basically like the PlayStation's version of the Elite controller. You can have like multiple pads on the back and all sorts of stuff. All the big like YouTubers play with them because you can do like 4 moves at once.
I tell you what, when I was looking at the Elite controller this week, and they was going to talk about the paddles and you can assign them to different things. How much easier would that make Red Dead? Like, really, how many sheriffs would keep their lives in that game? Because you've got the 4 extra paddles on the back.
I'm surprised it wasn't promoted alongside it. If you want to play Red Dead the way it was supposed to be played...
If you want to be able to play Red Dead...
If you want to stop shooting everyone, buy this pad.
Also, I've got this horrible feeling, like... do you think this as well? You've seen the back of the pad, Sean?
The back of...
The Elite Xbox controller.
Oh, no, I haven't, no. It's got all the little paddles on it and stuff.
Yeah, it's got paddles on it. And I just think, that like lump of fat at the top of your palm just before your fingers start? I just keep thinking that I'm just going to pinch them with these paddles, and it makes me feel, don't want to use it. I'm sure it's not the case, but it's just my big chubby hands just getting caught up in bits of metal and plastic. I don't like it. All I wanted to do was change weapon. But no, don't take us too seriously. From my point of view, I'd rather us be honest and say we're not into the gaming, that side of gaming, than try and cover it, because I think we're going to come across so badly. I think that would anger you more if we tried to talk about Overwatch without knowing much about it. Like, if you'd have told us about this character and I went, Matt, what special abilities does this character have? Well, he does this, Dave. Oh, that sounds like that could be trouble for...
It's a she, Dave.
Bastion? Is it? I don't know. See, I'm not into the game.
Yeah. No, I mean, for what it's worth, I would love to get back into Overwatch. It's just time. Too much to play, unfortunately. Occasionally, I'll see someone with an Overwatch baseball cap, and I think that's pretty cool. Like, they just with the logo on it. I'd quite like one of those. And then I think, but if I wore it, then people would want to talk to me about Overwatch. And then
totally
I'm going to embarrass myself. So, yeah. Leave it.
What's that big Korean MOBA game that everyone's into?
Dota?
No, not Dota. League of Legends, isn't it?
League of Legends, yeah.
It's
not Korean, but it's yeah.
Maybe I should get a League of Legends t-shirt. Just with someone come up to me. Are you into League of Legends? No.
just like the shirt, mate. Legends never die.
I'm just trying to appeal to my audience.
Sorry, that was unfair.
Sorry.
When you have a child, there is always one weird game you get into randomly because it's like 3 a.m. And like, maybe LOL will be the game you get into when you come back next year. You're like, yeah, I've played one game. It's
almost definitely not. Almost definitely not. No, maybe the Room, Matt. Maybe I'll text you about the Room over and over again.
I'm tempted to double dip.
Oh my god! All right, okay.
We had an amazing, massive email from Johnny Ball, but at times against us, so we'll leave it to next week. But it was interesting. Anyway, there's loads of stuff here about Farley, but clearly Farley is not here.
What sort of gives us a taster?
Well, stuff like Reed. This is from Lane Boy Advance. Reed James Farley being too old for cool merch. Aren't you meant to give less of a fuck about what people think the older you get? Same with tattoos. Will they look dumb when I'm 80? Maybe, but I'll give the fewest fucks ever. Embrace the old. That was after we were talking about the stuff from the Sega shop that James was too embarrassed to wear.
Yeah, but no, James is very strange with that stuff, isn't it? Like he's just like he wouldn't wear the computer. He bought a computer game show T-shirt, and he's openly admitted that he would never wear it. Like it's just bizarre behaviour.
I don't know. Like I do occasionally. Like if I just put on like T-shirt, jeans, and trainers, I do like see myself in the mirror. Like, oh no, I'm an old man wearing young person's clothes. Which is ridiculous.
Whoa. Just
Sean, when have you ever worn jeans? When have you ever worn young person's clothes?
Also, if you think they're young people's clothes, then what the hell are you supposed to do? To wear like tweed trousers and
pretty much, mate. Nice pair of chinos, casual shirt, and a blazer jacket. Yeah.
This flat cap's really bringing out my youth. It really reminds me. When you say young person's clothes, do you mean in the 1920s, Sean? Yeah. I am so sorry. These attacks are coming from nowhere. But you were off last week, so you need a couple of digs.
Yeah, oh yeah, so last week we were talking about like obviously that Diablo Immortal game. Mike Diver tweeting, by the way, Computer Game Pod, I couldn't listen to this episode without referring to the fact that there was a mobile Titanfall game. Titanfall Assault, I think it was. Yeah. Briefly came across it in my previous professional life.
Do you know what? When he sent that in, I was thinking, I do kind of remember there being an announcement, but I must have just blocked it out. Like I must have just gone, nope, it's not happening, doesn't exist. So yeah,
well, it's like a real-time strategy thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, not interested.
I mean, Titanfall didn't exactly shift numbers, did it? Neither of them. Don't make it a real-time strategy game. That's making it even worse for yourselves. Weird.
Yeah, so we had a Solvent saying, listening to this pod was basically me screaming at my phone. The most groundbreaking game in recent history comes out, and Matt and Farley are talking about Tetris.
Oh, God, don't get me started with that.
David missing a huge plot point in Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah.
And wondering why that counts as an adjacent game. Great episode, though.
Can I just say, Sean, did you pick up on me missing the plot point?
I did, yeah.
Well, so, what did I say that... Because I didn't even think that I referred to the plot. Like, I said what had happened by the river, that I met two people.
Yeah. Those characters are significant for reasons that I won't get into because I guess it's a spoiler.
No, I was. He's already told me, but,
okay.
Like, yeah, but I which I don't consider a spoiler either, to be fair. So I'm not angry about it. But I just didn't put two and two together. Like, it's not like I missed a plot point, but I just didn't recognise a character. That I think that's the best way of putting it. Yeah. But no, fair enough. I mean, if that, whatever. I've done that a million times to people when you were going, what was that game that thought it was Halo? Oh yeah, it was Brink, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Brink. No!
Yeah, there's nothing worse than hearing that on the podcast.
It's bad.
Yeah. Right, so there's more Game of the Year chat, because once again, our policy is under attack. So, Insert Coins first said, you're correct about Hollow Knight. It was a 2017 game and it wouldn't be eligible for Game of the Year show. But Dead Cells was released in 2018. It was only early access before. Joshua Garrity continues, so Dead Cells blurs your GOTY policy slightly. It was available on early access and PC, but 1.0 is this year. You're cool. As for Into the Breach, that was definitely out earlier this year, not last year, so that still counts. Because, it's a mess, isn't it?
No, I think early access doesn't count. I think we go from 1.0 because if I remember correctly, we didn't put PUBG on the list, but the listeners tried to put PUBG on the list last year, right? But it was out on early access the year before. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it last year, so in 2016, it went 1.0 just before Christmas, didn't it? It was
2017 it went 1.0, didn't it?
2017. Yeah,
2017 it went 1.0,
but it did
but
get 1.0, and then suddenly people like Giant Bomb were like, okay, I guess we can accept it, because even they were having big discussions.
I think early access I think once it goes 1.0, that's acceptable in the year that it goes 1.0. But I think if it was released on PC the year before, we should probably rule it out. Unless we fully admit we're just a console podcast and we say no. That's the moment it comes to consoles, that's when it's become official.
We can't do that. I don't think we can do that either. Podcast.
Yeah. I don't think we could do that either.
We'll have to have huge discussions about it. It feels like a mess because so Dead Cells, but I don't think anyone's actually going to put it in for their Game of the Year anyway. So we're sort of dodged to put it there. Hollow Knight.
I'm surprised I've not played it yet, but yeah, I would still like Hollow Knight included, but I understand the precedent we've set with other games.
We can't do that. We can't put Hollow Knight in there at all. After last year's mess, we can't do that.
Yeah.
I'll be fucking livid.
I mean, the only rule that I'd be willing to shift from last year is that games that come out after the episode goes live or after the episode's recorded can be included for the year after.
Next year. Yeah. Okay.
But that very rarely happens anyway because we're towards the end of December.
Oh, interesting.
It's brilliant how we've got all these strict rules, but ultimately it's just a complete fucking joke.
Nonsense, yeah.
The amount of times we go, well, I haven't played it, so I guess I'll vote for the other one. Which, might I add, is how most of these sort of podcast and magazine Game of the Year things come about. It's just they don't let you in on that. They vote on games they ain't even fucking played.
Except with us, you're hearing it live.
Exactly. At least we're open.
At least for that. That's it for feedback. Yeah, we've got tons of other stuff, but we'll save it for James to return. If you want to leave us feedback, it's thecomputergameshow@gmail.com, or you can email, or you can tweet us. It's @ComputerGamePod on Twitter.
Time for the news.
This
with
is
Sean
the news. Hello. Right, so XO18 happened, which was this big Xbox One event. Did any of you watch any of it?
I did, actually. I wasn't intending to, and I was like, oh, it's 9:00 and I'm tired. And then
it was just on.
Then I managed to watch all that. Then I watched an hour and a half of Kind of Funny after that. Then I watched Limmy for an hour. So yeah, it was a late night in the end. But I did watch it.
I've got no time to play Red Dead.
What? No, that's the thing. I was like, oh, okay, I can play Red Dead, but also I was like, oh, I'm just tired.
For fuck's sake, Matt, you were unbelievable.
Major Nelson, talk about Xbox stuff. So I did.
I mean, I know you really like this stuff, Matt. What did you make of it?
I thought it didn't need to be 2 hours, and it was largely embarrassing.
Yeah, it was a bit, wasn't it?
And I'm definitely a fan of this stuff, absolutely. But I mean,
what was embarrassing, because I saw some of the announcements. I didn't watch it, but I saw the announcements. I saw a summary of the announcements, and I thought there was some good stuff in there.
So when I turned it on, it was like panning over the audience who were unanimously chanting, "Sea of Thieves! Sea of Thieves!"
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty embarrassing.
It was like, oh no, who are these people?
Employees, Sean. Employees.
No, it was just a lot of that, wasn't there? Like the audience being. I mean, I know we've said before, you shouldn't really take the piss out of people just for being excited and happy. But God, it was a bit much.
it was quite intense. I mean, I needed a break after that, and I was just watching. So I just like looking at the presenters, and I'm thinking, like, God, how are you doing this? After that, I just need like a 20-year sleep. But
cocaine, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Steady, Sean.
Yeah. It's cool they're doing it, and I enjoy watching it. But also, like, it could have been tired. But anyway, regardless, the announcements.
Yeah, there were announcements.
The big ones,
so Crackdown 3's got a release date that it's definitely not slipping from. 15th of February, 2019.
Yeah, so that's a week.
That's a week before the biggie. So I sort of it's great they got a release date. I am looking forward to it because I enjoyed the first one and the second one actually. But I only a week before like Anthem, like make it 2 or 3 weeks because at this point I'm like, well, Anthem's out
maybe
next
they
week.
saw Anthem's E3 showing and just went, no, we'll be all right.
But there's a lot of things out on the 22nd. Anyway, regardless, it's out on the 15th. And I thought it looked good.
I haven't seen any of the. I haven't seen any trailer or anything.
I thought it definitely looked better than they did at E3. And the big thing they announced that it's a new multiplayer mode called Wrecking Zone, and basically it's full multiplayer map. But because of the power of the Azure cloud, you can destroy the entire map to kill. I think it's like 5-on-5 team deathmatch, and you can basically shoot rockets to blow up towers that the enemy team are on to kill them. It looked quite cool.
Yeah, when I saw this, I honestly thought that the destruction stuff was just like not going to be in the game after the.
Well, this is it, Sean. When I saw this, I haven't actually seen the video or anything yet, but I saw the announcement and I thought, is this their get out of jail free card for like? You know what I mean? Like it felt like they would do game. So let's stick this game mode in because we've said that there's destruction in it. And we're not able to
probably
do it
like no enemies or anything else happening. It is just,
he goes down to like...
They also mentioned, the original Crackdown is now free to download on Xbox One.
That's good.
Which is nice.
It's worth picking up. I played it this year, didn't I?
You did?
I played it on stream this year. Found that last
it's been backwards compatible for a while because I've got it on mine, but I guess the fact it's now free to download is the cool thing. I mean, I said earlier I like Crackdown 1. I barely played that because by the time I got my 360 or whatever it was, I mostly played Crackdown 2, which I know was widely regarded as bad game, and no one's really mentioning that game. Everyone's like, oh, the original Crackdown, and now here's Crackdown 3. Everyone's forgetting Crackdown 2. But I still enjoyed it for what it was, and I hope Crackdown 3 is good. It certainly looks good, and I guess we'll see. But
maybe a stream is in all the map. Just a one-nighter, little run around the town, and we'll blow stuff up.
Oh, what, Crackdown 3?
No, the Crackdown 1.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I'll be up for that. So yeah, they said obviously this Azure stuff is the multiplayer. Like, I love to say, Sohan said, have they confirmed that there's no damage in the single-player mode?
I think so, yeah. Because
but they said that ages ago.
Yeah.
They sort of said that ages ago, so that's no surprise.
But anyway, cool.
Yeah, they've carried on buying studios. Microsoft. They've acquired In Exile Entertainment and Obsidian Entertainment, who are both RPG developers. So Obsidian, obviously, they did Fallout New Vegas, which I'm a big fan of.
Didn't this leak ages ago?
Well, didn't they?
Obsidian definitely did. I can't remember In Exile, but Obsidian, that was basically a couple of weeks ago, so it's 95% done at that point.
Yeah.
So this was coming.
So a big fan of Obsidian. I've not played, so they did Pillars of Eternity, and they either did or are doing Pillars of Eternity 2. Shows how much attention I pay. I'm a big fan.
Stick of Truth, they did.
Oh, yeah, they did, yeah. So, that'll be interesting. I just hope whatever they do still comes to PC as well. I mean, In Exile, I'm not as knowledgeable on them. I know they did Wasteland 2, and I know it's Brian Fargo who did the original Fallout games and stuff at Interplay. But I've not played anything they've made for a long time. But it's interesting, and it's nice to see Microsoft still trying to
stop. When will we turn around and go, hi, welcome Andrew Smith from Microsoft Spilt Milk Studios. Big Pixel Studios now. When will the madness end?
I mean, it's good to see Microsoft getting a fucking stable together, though, isn't it? I just hope they don't close them all in another 3 years.
I can't see them doing that. I mean, this is them trying to do what Sony have done like years ago and actually have their own studios rather than, they closed them down, a few years ago, but now they're clearly setting themselves up for Xbox 2 or whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah.
They want their own sort of suite of studios, and it's exciting. Obviously, they said, I think it was like Matt Booty was the guy's name, like head of Microsoft Studios, and he's like, we don't have set out a checklist of we want these game types and this studio. It's all about the talent. Because I was thinking, okay, well, maybe you should, because there are literally like 2 massive RPG developers you've just bought here, but maybe these guys will be creating other games that, rather than just strictly the RPG heritage that they're known for.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't you love it if they just started to put them on football games? I mean, Obsidian.
If Chris Avellone from Obsidian was writing the Journey, I'd be fucking well into that.
It's true. It is true.
Yeah. But it is exciting. I mean, they've got. I mean, I can't remember. So it doesn't say I can't remember how many of their studios they got now, how many they bought. But in like, I guess we're not going to see this stuff for like 3 years plus. But in 3 years plus, it's going to be hopefully exciting to see what stuff they announce. Hopefully,
yeah, sure.
I'm looking forward to 3 years plus.
3 years plus, isn't it? Although I haven't said that. I think one of them said on stage, actually they are going to release stuff much sooner. It's not going to be a massive wait. Some people are already working on things.
Mm-hmm. All right, maybe 1 or 2 years plus.
Maybe 2 years plus, and then 3 years plus. And then 5 years plus. Okay.
Well, something that's happening right now. 14th of November. Oh yeah, so that'll be now by the time you listen to this. Some games are getting mouse and keyboard support on the Xbox One.
What's the rules here?
Well, this is it, isn't it? You've got to split these people off, surely.
Yeah, and you were, and like they announced Fortnite. It's coming to Fortnite, and there will be different servers and whatnot.
Okay, they did mention. Okay, cool.
Okay, fine. Then I've got no issue.
It's coming to Warframe, Sean. You must be loving that.
That's true. We're very excited.
A game
about
you love on a console. You love
favorite game on a console I own. Apparently Razer have partnered to make like official Xbox wireless mouse and keyboards.
They announced Razer as a sort of partner, like back in a previous Inside Xbox like a few weeks or months ago. Mm-hmm. So when they're like, here's a message from Razer CEO, I was genuinely excited. Like, I actually looked up my phone, like, okay, we're going to see the mouse and keyboard, and he's like, no, come back in January at CES, and then we'll show you. I mean, it's probably just going to be like, multicolored buttons and stuff. But
I've got a feeling it's just going to look like a mouse mat, and a mouse mat.
Like a massive mouse mat.
And a keyboard.
Yes, I know that, but no, the keyboard's a keyboard and maybe the mouse, but definitely the keyboard's going to have a special thing. I can't remember what it said. What it's called rather, but if say like you're playing Gears of War and your teammates are down, your keyboard keys will flash red and that sort of stuff. You can program that stuff. All developers can program that shit in, so that'd be pretty cool, right?
As long as these people I don't have to go anywhere near these people online. And
they're mechanical keyboards, though.
You know what we were saying before about not being disrespectful of PC players?
Yeah, these I just don't want to
go near these people.
I hope their odour doesn't come down the headset when I'm playing. No, I'm joking. I just don't want to play with these people. And if anything, that's giving them too much respect, because I know that they'd thrash the shit out of me using those futuristic control systems. I don't want to be beaten by someone in a mouse and keyboard because they're better at game than I am.
Yeah,
I'm quite happy with my dudes in there.
I think it's quite cool that Microsoft are adding it, but I can't think of a game right now that I would rather play with mouse and keyboard. I mean, I'm sure
because we don't do it. That's why there's lots of people. Saying that, the people that really want to play it with a mouse and keyboard.
Are they not already on PC?
They're just going to want to play on PC.
Yeah, that's my...
So it'd be interesting to see the percentage of people that are playing mouse and keyboard on their Xbox. I'm sure there's got to be reasons behind it.
Like, as someone with a PC who tries to play Xbox games on it, I would rather they made the PC experience more console-like than making the console experience more PC-like. But I mean, that's me, I guess.
That's so bad, isn't it? That's so bad. We've just been told off for not respecting PC gaming. And there's
I just mean
PC gaming should be more like console games, if anything.
I just mean, even like Steam is more streamlined than like the Microsoft store. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no! So Phil Spencer, I'm not sure. Did you catch this, Sean? Phil Spencer,
I don't know if I did,
he basically is going to be like, I think he said heading up. I wasn't sure about his announcement. Basically, he said he's going to look much more deeply now about Microsoft's sort of PC offering.
Okay.
I mean, but basically not naming, but essentially saying, the Microsoft Windows Store is terrible. So hopefully,
what we're working on, guys, is we're working on when you click on the uninstall button for a game, you'll actually uninstall it. That'd be a start.
That's the top of his list.
Yeah, I hope so. So the last thing was that basically throughout the whole thing, it was peppered with Game Pass announcements. So there's 16
mentions
games
and adverts.
Yeah,
and a lot of Game Pass stuff.
I mean, I'll quickly go through the list. So PUBG, I don't know why I call it Battlegrounds. PUBG was the first one they came out with. Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and Will of the Wisps.
Nice one. I wanted to play Ori, the first one. Obviously, two new isn't out yet, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of it, but not enough to really get into it. I mean, considering I know it's meant to be really hard, but I mean, I did most of Hollow Knight, so probably be all right. Maybe I should go back to that.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Thief of Thieves Season 1. This is a new game that is based on a graphic novel by what's his name, the Walking Dead fella.
Yeah. Oh God. What is it? Robert? No.
Kirkman?
No, because Kirkman wrote it. I can't remember the guy. Yeah. But is it Image Comics?
Fuck it, I don't know, mate.
We're the worst. We're the worst. It doesn't matter. It looked quite interesting.
James, come back. Do the news. The other game that showed up was Void Bastards. This looked quite interesting. It was sort of, it was like a sort of squad-based strategy game, but it was all played in first person.
Yeah, it's like a first-person, cell-shaded game. Yeah, look good.
It looks interesting. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which I guess
that was the one that interests me.
I mean, they've bought Ninja Theory, so I suppose this was going to happen. Kingdom 2 Crowns. I played a lot of Kingdom on the Switch. It's okay. The Good Life. So this is
is it based on the on the sitcom? What was it? The 1960s sitcom or whatever it was. I used to love that. The Good Life. Go on.
So this is Sweary's new game, isn't it? So this is where it's set in an English village and you're a photographer stroke detective and something's going on, and also at night everyone turns into dogs or cats depending on which version you buy. So yeah, it looks really good.
What version you buying, Sean?
Dogs.
What version?
Dogs.
Dogs.
A game called Aftercharge. I missed this, so I've no idea what it is. Any idea, Matt? Okay, fine. Game of the year. Agents of Mayhem. Dave.
Oh, dear. Forgot about that one. Jesus. I saw someone reference it the other day. I think it was Sam Roberts on Twitter.
Yeah.
He sort of said, I never want to play like that. I never want to be reminded of Agents of Mayhem ever again. And now I think that's a bit harsh because, I mean, it was okay, but it was just not what I think it set out to be in the slightest. I think it was supposed to be a massively multiplayer online thing that they just didn't have the budget for and then fucking pulled all the online stuff out of it. Weird.
Supermarket Shriek, which did you see this, Matt?
Yeah, so you're basically in a shopping trolley and you got a goat in a shopping trolley and the shrieking of the goat powers the shopping trolley. I wasn't sure if it was a racing game or puzzle game.
Yeah,
we'll probably need to go through all the games because I don't know anything about the rest of them.
I was going to say, I'm glancing at the list. I think we're all right. I mean, the last one is Thomas was alone, which is I mean, that's been about 50p for the last 5 years.
Yeah, and about 1 billion Humble Bundles. But, and like the fact that PUBG's in it is interesting. I mean, I've already got it, of course, but that's
it's been out a year now, isn't it? And it was an exclusive to Microsoft have always held it up.
Yeah, I mean they're doing it now because it's basically unconfirmed, but essentially everyone's saying it's coming to PS4 in December because that's when the 12 months will be up. So it's a good time to also add it into your Game Pass.
Yeah, that's pretty good shout.
Yeah, I've had Game Pass. I had it on the first couple of months it came out because I had got a voucher on my Xbox One X, and I bought it again for another game, then for Forza, and now I've got it until February. I'm basically they've won because I am basically going to have it permanently because then in mid-February it comes out with Crackdown 3's out, and then I'm sure there'll be something out in the middle of the year, and then they've got these games like Ori and Senua, Sacrifice and stuff. So
I will say for me next year,
they're doing exactly what you need to do because I'm paying for it.
For me next year, it's going to be a godsend because come summer where there's no big games coming out. I mean, it was an awful drought this year. I'll always see it as a terrible, terrible drought this year. I thought it was just fuck all in the summer, and to have that, like, obviously, I'm not going to be gaming as much next year. I'm not going to be keeping up with the new releases and stuff. So to just have that for a couple of months in the summer is going to be perfect for me, really.
Yeah. And they also announced for like new like subscribers, it's only like they say $1. I imagine it's £1 for new customers.
Yeah, but that's been going for ages. That's been going for ages.
There is always like new deals and stuff.
They
mentioned that Game Pass stuff a lot, and it's sort of doing my head in. Because they were drip feeding it throughout the whole 2 hours. But
I mean, after the games, you were just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
They did show Forza Horizon 4 DLC. It is called Fortune Island.
It did look good.
Yeah. So it's set on like an island north of the British Isles, and there are thunderstorms and mountains and treasure. And it looks pretty good, as you would expect, and that's out in December. Yeah.
Also, London will be coming. London will be coming. I'm telling you, like springtime next year, London will be coming. Like, I mean, when you look at Blizzard Mountain versus the Hot Wheels DLC, you could see where they put their big guns, right?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't play Blizzard Mountain. It's probably amazing because Forza Horizon is amazing, but, you know, it wasn't the one that spoke out as if to go, holy shit, that looks insane. London's coming. I'm
it will be.
It's got to be, right?
Something I haven't put in this in the doc we're reading for, but they also announced Winter of Arcade, which I'm quite excited
I missed this.
For.
Go on.
Yeah, so like the idea, Xbox guy was there talking about all the indie games and stuff, and then they said, yeah, we're bringing back a loved campaign we did a few years ago, and Winter of Arcade is coming. They're announcing more stuff for the Game Awards. I think in like next week or the week after.
We'll have to keep an eye on it, won't we?
Yeah. So Winter of Arcade's coming with, and there's incentives to buy more than one. I think you save.
Yeah, no, it is weird though, isn't it? It's like, Summer of Arcade, we all loved it, but it really was just, here's 4 indie games you can buy.
Yeah. 3 of them are probably very good.
So I mean, it's not like this big event where it's like, oh my god, they're doing us a fucking
but it did feel like a big
hit.
event, even if the games weren't always.
I know,
I'm sure they started with a few bangers.
It was really weird. It was kind of like, here's 4 game trailers, Summer of Arcade, and we all went, fucking yes,
I'm buying them all. They must be good.
Do you think a lot of that was just because like the whole just paying a tenner for something and downloading it was still such a novelty at that point?
The indie game scene was just starting to rise, especially when the first Summer of Arcade came out. It wasn't a regular thing that you would buy indie games, and now it is, so will it have the same impact?
Yeah,
probably not.
Depends what they launch with.
Well, yeah. Right, what else? Oh, yeah, so...
All right, Matt.
Dave Perry, the games animal, is back.
Yeah, my favourite story of the week.
And I mean, I haven't watched the whole thing. I've only watched
all of it.
No, I haven't watched all of it. I've only watched the most important bit.
How have you not watched all of it?
It's only like 7 minutes long.
It is.
I've watched it about 8 times, Sean.
Yeah, I've watched it at least 3 times.
I mean, do we need to give some context? I don't know if we've got any listeners who are maybe too young.
We probably should. It was
because we're only like So Dave Perry was a man who used to appear on television show Games Master, and he was always like a bit sort of arrogant and brash, and he always used to wear a bandana with a Union Jack on his head and a leather jacket.
It was the American flag.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Is it right? Okay.
He likes American things.
And he famously, there was an incident where he did a challenge on Mario 64, totally fucked it, and it's hilarious because he just doesn't have a sense of humour about it. And I think he still doesn't.
I think that showed.
Did you not read the Eurogamer interview?
I haven't, no.
Jumping ahead a little bit here, but I'll look up a quote. Carry on telling the story.
Basically, he's put out a YouTube show, and it's kind of, it doesn't feel like it's intentionally like a cool throwback. It just feels quite outdated from what I've seen. He's uploaded it in 480p for some reason. I don't know if that's
Brilliant.
like an intentional, like, look, it's like old telly.
He says it is, yeah.
But it just comes across as a bit weird and embarrassing. The bit, like I say, the bit that I've seen, because it's the bit that everyone was linking to, is there is a section where he sort of goes, and there's something else I've been cooking up, or something, and it's this section.
It is something I made earlier.
That's it, yeah.
And then he looks off in one direction where, and if you don't know, like in 90s TV, there would always be a monitor off to the side of the camera, and a presenter would like announce a VT and then look at the monitor. Yeah. So there was just like there's hours of footage of presenters just looking off to the side of the camera before a video starts, right?
Yeah.
And he does it in this. But we all know that there's not a monitor there. He's just in his room, and it's like, what are you looking at, mate?
And the thing he made earlier is a section called... wait, is it? What does he actually say? Is it just women on bikini?
He does it. He just says, here's something I made earlier, and then he goes, turn it up, look at these babes. And it's just so cringe.
And it's babes in bikinis on beat-em-ups. And
but the lyrics, Sean.
Oh my god!
Bikini babes on beat 'em ups, up and down, up and down.
But it's so like the way it's done. It's just like bikini babes on beat 'em ups, up and down. It's the worst. Like even if it wasn't outrageously sexist, it's just bloody awful.
Just weird. Yeah, it's just bloody awful. Yeah. Some of the other lines, Matt. It was they don't care about fashion, they're too busy button bashing. Yeah. There's a bit where it just goes in the background. It goes, look at them over and over again. Yeah. So here's the quote, right? So after this video came out, and honestly, right, my point is this: I don't get offended that easily, and I wasn't offended by this. I was absolutely blown away that someone in 2018 has put this on the internet, because I'm not offended by I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it, Sean, right? To prove that I'm not offended by it. I'm not offended by the word cunt, right? Yeah. It's never offended me. I've been fine with it. Yeah. I wouldn't go into a nursery and scream it at the top of my voice over and over and over again, because I know that's probably offensive to people, and you don't do it. So I don't. But he just whacked it out there. And I mean, he must have known, like, this is coming onto the Eurogamer article. So afterwards, he was interviewed by Eurogamer. And one of the quotes, when you were talking about this Mario 64 thing, he said, to be honest, it doesn't bother me that much, right? Talking about the losing at Mario 64 and Games Master. He then goes on to say, but what happened that day was disgusting, and I see no reason why I should just smile and say nothing. I will continue to tell the truth about what happened when asked. Right? And I was like, well, it seems like it does bother you a little bit.
Yeah.
But what I will say, I thought he did all right with the Eurogamer interview. Obviously, just, I mean, at one point he says, yes, I think sexism is fun. He says that the bikini babes are his wife and daughter.
Doesn't he then say that's a joke or something? Or he said on Twitter,
he then goes, that's a joke. What I will say is the way he played that interview was all right, because throughout the whole thing, you didn't know whether he was taking the piss or not, right? And then that makes you think of the video, thinking, well, was he taking the piss throughout that whole video? Well, I mean, ultimately, I would say this. If he was taking the piss during that whole video, he did not get that, like, he did not put that across well enough. Like, not in the slightest.
He played it pretty straight.
He played it way too straight, Matt. I mean, I said that, like, his presenting style was that of a go-karting health and safety guy. Like, before you go go-karting, like, he kept going, so, we're gonna either go through my box of tat, okay, or you could watch me play Mario 64 again, okay? So, what have we got here? It's a choice for you. You get to decide what we do next, okay? And it was like, all right, mate, you don't have to, like, You don't have to like talk to me like I'm a piece of shit. Just like, it's just weird. This is just weird. You seem angry that you're doing this, if anything. It's just a hilariously bizarre video. Hilariously bizarre. So bizarre.
Sorry, I'm just scanning through this interview. So at one point they sort of show him a comment on the video which basically says someone like, you know, like, this is really embarrassing. Gaming's at the forefront of media now. Which Dave says, since when was gaming at the forefront of media? That has always been the big problem with this hobby. It's still so ducking underground. The media doesn't give a shit about it. Only its own media cares. People need to get their heads out of their arses on this. I tried to tell people 20 years ago. And then he just puts, ducking equals fucking.
But this is it. This is why I think it didn't come across that badly in the interview, simply because you don't know if he's fucking about or not, like if he's genuinely on top of it or not. Obviously, there's an argument to be made that, you know, the sexism involved isn't funny, and it is a problem, right? And it can cause problems. I understand that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, I mean, initially you're thinking this is a man who's so out of touch with everything that it's unbelievable, but at the end of it, he just seems like he's just dicking about and not taking anything seriously. And that, you know, that's slightly different. But I don't know. The one thing that I've got out of this is that John Denton and I spoke for a good half an hour about how much we would pay to see the raw footage, like, of that Bikini Babes video, just to see the directing involved, to see the conversations going on between takes. Like, I would pay good money for that raw footage. And we were saying, look, we'll sign NDAs to say that we'll never release it, but one night we just want to sit there and watch the raw footage, like from start to finish. Even if it's just once, I've got to see what was said in that room during that time. Like, because there's instructions going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's literally a bit where you could see one of the ladies in bikinis shaking it about. Yeah. And she was clearly told to do that. And just to hear that direction, it would be worth a lot of my hard work.
Because the thing is, like, in terms of him being out of touch, like, yeah, like, so, yeah, you think sexism's cool and what have you, a little bit outdated. But also the notion that, like, people would find this erotic in 2018 when we've got access to all sorts.
You change one word in YouTube and you've got the whole world ahead of you, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so in the one, like, and obviously it's easy to be like, well, does that mean it's relatively harmless? Because, like I say, it's the idea of someone actually getting off on it seems really alien to me. But it's just rubbish, isn't it? It's just
well, this is it. Like, ultimately, at the end of the day, if he is trying to have a laugh, poke fun, you know, if he wants to go down the irony route, then he's wildly misjudged it. Like, because it's just that does not come across in the slightest, and that's an important part of it. So it's just weird. That's what I get out of it, right? That's the ultimate feeling I get. It's just fucking weird, and I can't wait for episode 2. That's it. Because if I laugh as hard as I did at that first video, then, I mean, I'm subscribing. I'm subscribing.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's only got like 12,000 views. I thought it would have done more numbers than that, but
nah, no one remembers him, man. That was it. That was the problem. No one cares. It's, you know, he was this small part of I mean, all right, that breakdown thing was, you know, pretty well known, and it was played in compilation videos and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, no one really cares today. This just highlights our age when you go, oh no, it's that guy from Games Master, and people look at you and go, what? You go, fucking hell, yeah.
What, you mean the magazine? Oh. No, not the magazine.
Sorry, I've just found
I used to read that all the time. James Farley used to send letters in.
I just found the bit of the interview where he clarifies about the women not being his wife and daughters, where he says, of course they are not my wife and daughters. They are the game babes.
Of course, they are the game babes.
How could we not have realised?
Yeah, weird one.
Right, anyway, moving on. More importantly, there's been a trailer for Detective Pikachu. the film.
This looks brilliant.
Looks great, doesn't it?
To say that.
Like I've seen like some people like sulking because it's a kind of like realistic setting. Like it seems to be nighttime most of the time, and it's all a bit.
I need a bit of history on this, Sean, before we continue.
I'm the wrong person to ask, I think, because I mean, all I know is that there was a 3DS game, and now this is happening.
That's what I'm saying. The 3DS game felt like it come out 10 minutes ago, and this must have been in production for a while. This film, but like, how has this happened?
I've no idea. But what's really weirding people out is that, because it's like quite a realistic setting. Like it's a live action film with CGI Pokemon, but they're all sort of rendered like quite realistically. They've all got fur and like stuff, which is like specifically there's a Mr. Mime. And you can see that his skin looks sort of almost like a little bit leathery, and like you can see tiny little hairs on the top of his head and stuff.
Is it like when you see those realistic interpretations of Homer Simpson?
Yes.
And it's just like...
It's exactly like those. But no, it looks genuinely fucking funny. I'm up for it.
The only thing that I was disappointed about is that I obviously I didn't play the game. I don't know much about it or whatever. But... I really liked Detective Pikachu's voice in the game, like in the trailers that I saw. It was like proper old, sort of, I gotta find out, I gotta solve this case sort of voice. And they've not used it for the film.
No, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Like it's like, oh mate.
Which is like, I don't hate, I don't hate Ryan Reynolds, but I like watching the trailer, I was just like, oh, he's doing the Deadpool voice.
Surely keep that sort of the gruff, Brooklyn, how
I
would imagine a Gumshoe would talk.
Like it makes it funnier when they do the reveal that everyone else is still just hearing their Pika Pika. Like it's So I don't know, but no, I thought it looked great.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, is this done by? I shouldn't have asked. Is this done by the same people who did Minions?
I have no idea.
No way.
Was that the Nintendo? That's just the Mario one, was it?
Not a clue.
That's the Mario one. Then,
anyway, regardless, I saw a trailer.
Where is that?
Well,
where's the Mario one?
Well, they're not going to show it up before this. This is focused now, and then they'll probably drop a trailer for that.
It's not the same company, Matt.
But it's like it's another like Nintendo related property. I'm sure they'll probably,
Yeah, but Nintendo related. It's more the Pokemon company, isn't it? That's the common mistake.
Company, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if when you watch this film on certain screenings, there's a trailer for a new Mario film.
Oh, fingers crossed, because I really want to see what that looks like. I want to see the first glimpse of that film. I'm really interested in that.
I mean, it's going to go mental.
I really want to find Charles Martinet and just say, listen, mate, are you involved in any way? Because I bet you're fucking fuming if you're not. Fuming.
Of course he will be in something. But anyway, this is going to do massive numbers. It looks great. And,
that's all right.
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
Why'd you say of course he would be?
Of course he will be what? Oh, of course he'll be involved. I just think...
Martinet, why? What makes you say that?
I just think he will.
Why?
Because because obviously he's the voice of Mario. I just think that
Matt, the man that voiced Postman Pat for God knows how many years wasn't allowed to voice Postman Pat in the Postman Pat movie. Hollywood doesn't give a fuck about these original voice actors.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit different than Postman Pat, Dave. Anyway, I think he'll be involved. I think he'll be involved.
Exactly the same. Right, that's it. That's it for the news.
Let's do what you've been playing. Should we start with you, Sean? Because you've not been on for a couple of weeks.
I mean, I'm still playing loads of Red Dead. I don't know if I've got anything new to say about it. I think I might just...
This is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
I am still adoring every minute with it. Yeah. Like, I really, really am. I'm still loving every second of it. Every mission I've done had something about it that's kept me smiling and enjoying it. Every visit to the town has cheered me up. Last night, before I went to bed, I played poker with the people inside my camp, and that was just fun. That's a whole different ball game as well, because when you're playing poker in the saloons or whatever, it's just like people just going, oh, here we go. Oh no, I bust or whatever. But when you play with people in your camp, they're talking to you because they know you. Like, you know what I mean? So you there's interactions that you'll never see unless you're actually playing poker with them. I mean, I adore that game so much. I'm still slowly working through the story, but not worrying about getting there.
reminds me that Red Dead 1 did quite well out of coming out in like May or whatever it was, because it meant you had all summer with fuck all else coming out. Like the only thing that is bothering me with it is like there's so much to do and it's all brilliant, but other games are coming out, and I'm like, you know, like even as good as it is, part of me is like I'm sort of resenting this for still like this, you know, still being so much to do when there's other things I want to play now. But maybe I should just shut up and be like, no, I spent 50 quid on this. Let's just like, I'm enjoying it. Like, let's just focus on that and not worry about like Hitman 2's out and I've not bought it and I'm really excited about it. But it's like, well, just fucking wait. Like, mate, like that'll be a Christmas game, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
if anything, it's made me think, well, I'm just not going to buy anything else this year. I'm just going to sit.
Well, exactly. It's like, obviously, like, we have to play new things for the show and stuff, but part of me is like, maybe, you know, like, between, like, this and, like, you know, like, I could still just be playing Destiny 2 quite happily, if nothing else had come out. So, yeah, don't know. It's interesting.
Matt, have you played any more?
I think I did one mission. I obviously...
Fucking hell.
Well,
one mission?
Yeah, I think I'm playing. Yeah, I just. Yeah, well, I did like. Did I talk about last time? Did I talk about doing the Lenny Bar mission?
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, well, I did that.
Sorry, I don't know if you talked about it. That was just me saying, yeah.
I did that, which was brilliant. I didn't have a couple of.
Can we talk about that now, do you think?
I mean, it's really early on anyway. I don't think it's hardly spoilers. It's just a cool mission.
I mean, you could probably, like, without going into, like, actually going into what all the jokes are and stuff. I think it is just...
Oh, well, no, I won't, but I will say the bit that I loved the most, and if you don't want to hear it, tune out for just a couple of seconds, because I won't go bang on about it. But what I was talking about the week before, when I was really avoiding spoiling anything, is the bit where it looks like you're getting into a bar fight, and because you've done a bar fight before, you think, okay, this is where the mission's going, that's fine. And then suddenly it cuts to everyone doing the can-can.
Yeah.
That's just like, so good.
That's hilarious, because I picked up the pad as if to go, right, now we're back to video. What? And I just started laughing. I thought that's what I was talking about with fucking player expectation, especially during that mission.
Yeah.
It was just so funny. That's a great early mission. And it's funny because there are a few missions like that where it goes, okay, this is the comedy mission. Yeah. But they're wildly paced and they're never... Like, there's never a flag. Like, you know what I mean? There's never a point where it's like you enter the first cutscene and it's like, hey, let's go and shit in the woods or something like that. And you go, oh, here's the comedy mission. It always comes out of nowhere and slaps you in the face and it's funny. So, yeah, I really like that bit. Yeah. But what is that literally the last mission you've done?
No, I've since then I did like the bear mission, you know, where you and Jose go and catch the bear or not catch the bear. And I've done a couple of others. I'm getting through it. The worst thing about it is not, okay, one, I wish I was in love with it, and I wish that's all I was playing, but I just don't feel the need for it right now. I've got, it's plenty of time to play, so it's not a rush. The other thing that's sort of annoying me, one, I'm going to see spoilers, and that's only my own fault. And two, I'm going to like miss out like a huge part of the Giant Bomb Game of the Year episodes, because they were talking about this game throughout. So... But also I don't want to rush this. I'm not going to bomb through it and push through just for the sake of it, because I won't enjoy it.
You're certainly not rushing it, Matt. Certainly I can't believe it.
I've had other things to play this week, but also I tell you, it's an issue of mine, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still like seeing people moaning about the shooting and stuff. I kind of get it.
Oh man, that goes away so quickly.
But yeah, because I just feel like it's such a... Like, all right, it's a big part of the game, but it's just one of so many parts of it. Like, you know, I know there's better shooters out there, but like, you know, what's the poker like in Call of Duty? What's the fishing like in Destiny? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, I can't, but like, for me, like, it's got that really generous auto aim when you aim down your sights, and it's just enough to be quite cool and cinematic. I'm all right with that. I don't need it to be like a shit hot shooter. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
The only thing when it comes to the combat that I find really jarring at this point now, with the shooting, I'm kind of used to its quirks and I'm getting by. I can't say that I'm absolutely loving the shooting because, as you say, it's not top notch. It's serviceable. You know what I mean? And to some extent, that's what Rockstar games have always been. They've never been fantastic shooters, none of them.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't quite get is like the health. Sometimes it feels that, you know, you'll get shot a few times and you look at your core and you look at your health bar and it's barely had any effect. And then other times it's like, fucking, no, your health's gone now.
2 shots and
now
that's
you're in
it.
trouble.
I think it's like, it's got some weird, so basically like if you get shot in the head, that's it. Like, it has,
oh, really?
I think so, yeah, because someone was telling me, I think it was Chris Spann was saying, like, apparently there are situations in which a single melee hit can just knock you out.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
So, yeah, I don't know. Which, you know, oh, yeah, it's realistic, isn't it? Yeah, but is it fun? I don't know. But yeah, bit of a weird one. But yeah, I'm still playing it, still enjoying it. As I say, I will probably now shut up until I finished it, because it's just going to be like the same stuff every week, I think.
Yeah, but, that's the problem.
Yeah. I've got one that we've all played, so I'll do the other one first. I played about an hour and 40 minutes of The Quiet Man on the stream. Have you? It's fine if you haven't. Have either had a chance to watch any of the stream yet?
I've watched the full thing.
Oh, you have?
I've watched bits. Yeah, I had it on at work today. It's. I mean, I've obviously heard about the game anyway, but seeing you play it was.
I mean, well, this is it. Yeah, like I'd read what people were saying about it, and but part of me was like, well, surely not. But fucking hell! All right, so for context, so this is a game that Square Enix decided it was E3 worthy. This got a showing at their E3 conference.
Did it really? I don't even remember.
Yeah. And it's this, like, on paper, it's interesting, right? It's this sort of live action cutscenes, telling a story about a deaf guy who is also shit hot at beating people up for some reason. And yeah, so it's sort of cutting between these like live action cutscenes and then like you doing fights with people. What absolutely fucks me off is, so yeah, you play as a deaf guy, and like, you know, on paper, game where you play as a deaf guy and there's no audio, which is pretty much the case for most of the game. Like, that's interesting and that is worthwhile, and like, even if that is frustrating in some ways, but it's a valid representation of like, well, here's what it is like to be deaf, that's really valid and worthwhile and worth doing. But they completely fuck it up because it's really obvious that, I think his name is it Dane? The quiet man? I think he's called Dane.
Wasn't it Devin or something?
Possibly. Can't remember. He can clearly lip read. Like, he's having conversations with people, but you still can't hear what they're saying. And there's no subtitles. And even scenes where he's not fucking there are just silent. And you're just like, this is just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And you just like, I mean, I think the story's quite weird anyway, because it's all about like him seeing his mum getting shot when he was a kid, and now he fancies a woman who looks pretty much exactly like his mum. And there's a man in a bird costume who's the villain, and he's kidnapping this woman you're in love with. But then you see a video that she's been like kidnapped and she's got tape around her mouth, and then you see her later on and she's fine. And and you can't piece any of it together. And then a week after it came out, they were like, oh, guess what? We've patched it so that once you've finished the game, you can play through it again with audio and subtitles.
So that wasn't originally going to happen?
I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't know.
They must have done that, like, they must have originally thought, oh yeah, no, there'll be a patch where you can hear everything.
They must have, because it'd be too much work to implement, wouldn't it, if it hadn't already been planned.
The thing that I didn't get is that when I knew that going in, that it was a game where you couldn't hear anything because your character was deaf, right? I like, that's the only thing I knew about it going in. What I didn't understand was in the first scene, there's a full conversation with that hot dog.
Oh, yeah. So you can hear that.
So
yeah.
You hear all that. You could just hear footsteps.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they had a concept for this game and then forgot halfway through and just left stuff in by accident. It's weird. The thing is, if you're going for something like this, if this is your, you know, unique selling point, I guess is the shit way of saying it, if you're going for that, you got to be consistent.
Yeah.
You got to be like, it's got to make sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to make a point.
Yeah, and it just doesn't.
But it doesn't seem to. It seems to forget the point, and then just. It doesn't even seem like, oh, they've forgotten. They've overlooked that. It's like it was intentionally fucked.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so weird.
Yeah, I just cannot make sense of it. And to an extent, like, I welcome that. I don't. I like games that are not necessarily easy to get. But yeah, when you just. They've so obviously just fucked up their own concept. It's just bizarre. And I mean, it doesn't help that like the fighting's not great. Like there's like choppy animations all over the place.
I mean, the choppy animations look shit, but the fighting didn't look too bad on the stream.
I mean, I was just mashing buttons, but then I was playing it on the mild difficulty setting.
Right.
So, yeah, I just bizarre. I mean. People will definitely be checking this out just because it's like purely because it is so weird and like people will not believe how bad it is until they play it for themselves. But it's a fucking weird one.
Yeah, a lot of people like comparing this to The Room, the film.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is like James's ultimate game. Surely,
I think. He is intrigued, isn't it? I think he's like considering doing his own stream, and I know a few people have been asking for it. So that might be.
Oh, that's got to be a kick in the teeth, isn't it, Sean?
Well, yeah. I mean, apparently I didn't do a good enough job, but whatever. Stabbed in the back again.
Hey guys, I'm streaming The Quiet Man. Can James do it? I mean that sounds horrendous.
So how much is left? Are you going to go back and finish it?
Well, yeah, I've checked, and I think I was on like the last chapter, so I'm going to have to finish it on stream, aren't I?
You're going to have to finish it twice, surely.
I wanted to go through it again with the dialogue on and stuff.
Well, you've got to, haven't you? Because
do I have to?
I mean, we'll just. It's either that or the journey, Sean. Your choice.
I think I'd rather do the journey at this point. I mean, yeah, okay. So if I finish it on stream, which it might only be like another 10-20 minutes, and then I'll start again with the dialogue and just like if like 20 minutes in, I'm just like, no, this is still bad and it's not shedding light on anything. I think that's the way to go. Yeah. See how we go.
Definitely.
Right, so game number 3, Tetris Effect.
Okay, so we've all been playing this, right?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Do you start, Sean?
I fucking love it. Like I am really quite surprised. I know you talked last week about the whole VR versus no VR thing. So I am just playing it on a telly. I am sure it's not as good. But they're like personally, like I would say if you're considering getting this, but you're like, I ain't got PSVR, so there's probably no point. I think it's still really brilliant. And like, obviously I'm hearing a lot of like, but it's 35 quid for Tetris. Are you fucking mental? And I get that. But also, like, I've had a couple of sessions where I'm like, oh no, it's 1:30 a.m. like it's properly got its hooks into me.
It's very easy to do it. Yeah, I thought I'll play for a bit last night, and then it was like 4 hours later, and I had a headache before, but then I had the music really loud, and like the visuals and stuff, and I had a banging headache after, but it was worth it.
It's just fascinating. So like it does cool things with Tetris on like a mechanical level. The whole what is it? The zone mechanic.
In the zone, yeah.
Yeah. So when you fill this meter, or even before you fill it up, you can activate this mode where like basically when you clear lines, it just sort of shoves them to the bottom, but doesn't actually clear them until zone mode runs out. And basically you can cash that in for a shitload of points, but also the blocks like don't drop until you drop them. And it's just really smart because if you're doing really well, it's a really good way of banking a shitload of points. But if you're kind of shit, it's just like a good panic button as well.
Yeah, I've used that to save me loads of times.
Yeah.
Hold on, how do you use that?
Press like R2 or L2.
Can say that's on the triggers, isn't it?
Oh my god, I didn't know this existed.
And okay. Yeah, so I guess whenever you start, complete, getting lines normally, the bar. But to the left-hand side of the board, it's like a circle. That'll start filling. It can go up to max, but you can deploy it before that. Yeah, and then when it does, basically, it's essentially time stands still. You can, as Sean said, you can drop the blocks to your own speed. But basically, it's like bullet time, I guess you can sort of call it. Have you not been playing with that mode, then, Dave?
I'm an idiot. I've just worked out I'm an idiot. I was going to fully turn around and say, I don't get it. I think it's overrated. It seems like Tetris, and it's fine. Tetris is brilliant. We all know that, but I'm not really getting into the music. I'm not really getting into the point building stuff. And I just realised what I did. It said, "Hey, do you want the tutorial?" And I thought, it's Tetris. Fucking hell. So I skipped all that. I didn't know that there was all these like boosts and stuff, and maybe that's where I'm going wrong.
Worth a go, mate. I mean, I'm surprised.
It's not maybe where I'm going wrong. That's where I'm going.
Like that's where you're going wrong.
Well, no, I mean, I'm surprised to hear you're not getting into the music and stuff, because that's been a major part of it for me as well.
Like, amazing, yeah.
Like I don't know, like what he fucking knows, but like between Area X and this, like the fact that like everyone's going in like, oh yeah, an emotional experience playing Tetris, fucking whatever, and then 20 minutes later just being like, oh my fucking god, what is this? Like I've been like properly enjoying the aesthetics, and yeah, I don't know, it's fucking.
I think that
black magic.
Mate. I think the one that weirded me out was the fire level.
Oh yeah,
because I was just kind of like, I'm not finding this bit good music. It's just strange. The fire putty. What the fuck is this?
There's a few of those. Like I don't love all of them. And like the one thing that does irk me a bit when you're going through the story mode, there's levels where like when the music reaches like a certain point, the tempo like increases loads and it's like dropping your blocks really quickly. Which to me is just like, well, why have you done that? I'm not very good at Tetris. Don't
stressful.
do that to me. Yeah. Which sort
have
of pulls
you
me out
finished
of it a
journey
bit.
mode yet, Sean?
Not yet. I'm on like the last like block of levels, and then I think there's one extra. Isn't there?
I played it a bit before, and I basically got to the last level now. And yeah, but it's getting really rather hard. But yeah, like I'm really enjoying the music. I'm like, oh, this is great, and it's going to a crescendo. And I'm like, I know what's going to happen. It's something like speed 12. Yeah, and it's like, this is not enjoyable anymore. Have you got to one where it's all like industrial music? And I think that's like speed 11. It's like on the penultimate section, or maybe like the one before the penultimate section.
Maybe.
It's like really like heavy industrial music.
I don't know.
Also, it kept making me jump because it's like, but also that, but really, really quick as well. And it wasn't. It was a bit of a fight to get through that, but yeah. I like I say, I people saying, oh yeah, but it's just Tetris, and it's like, yeah, kind of, but I really love it. I've not really dug into like the extra modes and stuff. I had a quick go on one of the like supposedly relaxing ones where it was just like clear 150 lines and there's no game over, and you're like, right, cool. But again, like after a while, the speed picks up to the point that I just can't really do anything. So that's kind of a shame. Certainly it's not particularly relaxing, which it's apparently supposed to be. But yeah, like I for the first time in my life, I feel like I want to get really good at Tetris. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, it definitely gives you that feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm finding the actual Tetris as satisfying.
Yeah.
As I ever done, right? So there's not a problem there. Yeah. I just think I've massively fucked myself here because,
maybe
it feels like I'm missing a major part of the game now. And if I go back to it, it's like, I suppose the way I was going to put it was, this doesn't feel like Pac-Man Championship Edition. Pac-Man Championship Edition took the concept of Pac-Man and turned it into a completely new game. One that was probably better than Pac-Man, whereas this feels and plays like Tetris and doesn't. Well, I assumed it didn't add much to it, but now that's in question. So I'm going to have to play it more for next week. But yeah, I mean, the music and stuff is great, and I'm enjoying the visuals and stuff, but it hasn't sort of blown me away like it seems to blow everyone away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's okay. Like I say, there's sort of
maybe I am.
It's not like I can sit here and explain to you like why I find it like an actually emotional experience, because it is this sort of, I don't know, sort of nebulous thing. Like I don't know why I react to it the way I do, so I can't tell you you're wrong for not feeling that.
I know what you're saying.
But yeah, I fucking love it. I just love the fact that it's like, VR came out and Tetsuya Miyaguchi was like, oh, do you want to try this game I made 15 years ago? It's the best game on this new hardware you've bought. And then like a year on, or 2 years on, whatever, he's like, oh yeah, do you remember Tetris that like no one should ever fuck with because it's a classic? I fucked with it and it's better now. Cheers. Like, it's just, I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah. The music. Definitely gamey. Go on, Dave.
I also do get the feeling that this is I think you were saying there's a bit of a discussion on last week's show about whether it is really that much better on VR or you can still... I think that this would be insanely better in VR.
Yeah.
I think the jump between VR and playing this on a TV is massive. I mean, I've not played it in VR, so I can't verify that, but it's just got that feeling where it's like there's so much happening around the screen that having all that stuff, admittedly, in your peripheral vision because you're focusing on the Tetris itself, is enough to just be like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, and obviously, like,
especially when all the lights kick off and stuff.
And, like, obviously, like, Area X, like, I was one of the, when people were saying, like, oh, well, it sounds good, I might just play out my TV, I was one of the people being like, no, don't you fucking dare. Like, do not do that to yourself. Yeah, but just how it happens with Tetris, I've experienced it the other way around, and I am really enjoying it on the telly. I mean, I'm definitely now thinking, like, if rumours about a PSVR price drop for Christmas are true, that's probably happening, and this will be the first thing I load up on it.
God damn, yeah. I mean, I am so tempted. I just can't justify it. Even at £200, it's kind of like I can't really afford it.
Well,
when I'm supposed to be buying nappies.
I've heard Christmas it's going to be $150, but
I don't even know if I could.
That would be like
dummies.
That'd be like Christmas present from like New and Mum and Dad put together, like. But
I've got to say, right, because I've done that a few times recently in recent years, and that does doesn't it make you cringe that you're that age and you're going, no, this is a Christmas present from Mum and Dad and my wife. It's like kind of
okay, guys, mate. It's the most magical time of the year. If we can just pool our resources and really plan out how you can buy me my new toy.
It's a real spirit of Christmas.
Listen, if you all spend £5 less on my child.
He didn't need anything. He doesn't even know it's Christmas. Fuck him.
It's true.
I mean, currently, it's like £200 with the camera, with like the starter kit, with the moves, with like a game or two. So,
is that with the moves as well? Okay.
Yeah. So, right now it's £200 with moves, camera, and the starter kit, which is also like PSVR Worlds and also another game, but obviously offers vary. But I mean, like this game's been amazing. I've only played it in VR, of course. But like this has come out and Astrobot's come out.
Yeah.
Like we've had two incredible games. I didn't think this is they were like games of the year for me, and I didn't think I'd have two VR games on my game of the year list. It's amazing. And I mean, in terms of like whether the music gets you emotional, I definitely had a couple of bits. I'm like, with like the visuals and the music building up, and then also if you do well in actual Tetris as well, it just all combines. And I haven't had a lump in my throat or that sort of stuff, but I have been like, this is making me feel things. It's
you've been moved by it.
Really am. And like this isn't the sort of music I listen to on a daily basis at all, but I don't know, and it just
you don't listen to the Fire Party song, Matt, every day when you wake up.
I mean, I might do now. I need to find the soundtrack, but it makes you feel amazing, just like the music and how it looks. I mean, it's hard to explain, and particularly like the VR version. But I'm absolutely loving it.
You got a favourite level, Matt?
No, because I've only gone through this like journey mode once.
Yeah.
So I haven't even finished it yet.
Yeah, no fair dues.
So no, I haven't replayed main levels yet. In terms of the ones I have seen that I've only played once, have you? There's an amazing space themed one.
Yeah.
Towards the end, and like visuals as well as the music.
Yes,
it's amazing. But really I've been really enjoying it, and I can't wait to finish it and keep playing it. I know there are loads of other different modes, and there's like modes where the table's upside down and do all sorts of crazy stuff. I will say, it's not relaxing. At all, and it
really easily could be. That's what gets me. Like, it's like just give me a mode where it's slow forever. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I can happily play that, but I've been playing on normal, and the first few were fine, but now it's like Yeah, I mean, even if a board might start on level 7, on speed 7, you're like, well, I know it's speed 7 now and I can handle it, but it's going to be like 12 in a minute. But then you do know, okay, once you get to like 15, I think around 15 rows, it sort of changes speed. And on some of the later ones I've been doing now, I'm like, I just need to get through this really fast bit, and then I know it slows down, and you can sort of then gradually build up towards the end, and I've been really enjoying that.
What's the deal with selecting your sort of backup block? Because
that's another thing.
R1 and R2.
You can change the order of which blocks come down first.
Yeah, so
the way I see it, that there's a backup block on the top left, and the top right is like the random one. Is that not the case?
No, I thought it just shows you what your next block is, and you can switch that one in for your current one.
Yeah, you can switch that one in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I think. But then is there like a point punishment for doing that?
I don't think so. I think the whole point is you eventually get mad enough that you can like look at what's at the bottom and what's coming next and what's at the top and be like, oh, actually, if I switch them, I could put that there before I do this. But I mean, I'm nowhere near that level yet.
Right.
So
it's fucking incredible. But yeah, Sean, if you get PSVR, get Astrobot.
Yeah. I'm well intrigued by that.
That's it. There's another 50 quid on top of your PSVR.
I'm sure it'll be in the bundle.
PayPal.me/the computer game show for your tips.
Yeah, like Dan Reichert on like Giant Beast Castle talking about it last week on the most recent episode, and it's just so good to hear people, you know, who playing it, who may have heard like really amazing things about it, and then they eventually get around and it's like, oh yeah, it is as good as everyone says. I just want more people to play Astrobot.
Yeah,
but Tetris Effect is amazing so far, and I'm enjoying playing it, and I can't wait to go back and see more.
It sounds like I need to play that game a hell of a lot more, because it hasn't clicked for me yet, but it sounds like that's my fault. So yeah, maybe next week I will come back with high praise.
You may not have got, you know, some of the mechanics, but I still thought you would have, you know, enjoyed the music and the way that sort of has crescendos.
Some of the music's been okay. I initially I thought this was going to be amazing. Like the first few tracks, I was like, holy shit, this is really good. And then it went a few levels without any of the music hitting home for me, and I was kind of like, oh right, okay, so it's not every track's a banger.
Yeah.
There's a few here that I'm not getting on with, and then that actually there's more that I'm not getting on with than ones that I am. So yeah, it didn't really hit home with me yet. But as I say, I mean, maybe that changes when I start going through the levels faster, because I'm actually using the boosts that are at my disposal. But instead, I'm just ignoring them and taking everything slowly, and it's probably not working as well.
Very, very good game. I want James to bring like the PSVR around to your place before Christmas, Dave, so you can.
He's promised to lend me it,
so you can see this, and you can see Astrobot and other stuff. And
yeah. So I'll take him up on that offer soon. I didn't want to do it at the time because Red Dead was just about to come out, and now that I know that I'm quite happy to play that for the next 20 years. I'm okay to try other things every now and then, so maybe I should nab it off him soon.
Definitely.
Cool. Yeah, that's me.
All right, Matt.
It's just Tetris Effect and a little tiny bit of Red Dead. That's it. Oh, and also Pokemon Go non-stop. That's it. I'm fully addicted. Okay,
obviously, I'm still playing Rocket League every day. It's ridiculous now. It's an illness, if anything. But I have been playing a new game that came out on the Nintendo Switch last week. We just missed out. I wanted to talk about it last week, but we just missed out on the embargo, which dropped on the 8th rather than the 7th, so I wasn't able to talk about it. But it's called Rage in Peace, and it's it's a genre of its own. I'll get this out of the way. I fucking hate it. But also, I found it insanely addictive. When I first, because we talk about games very clearly after the embargo has been dropped privately, and I was texting you guys going, "Fucking hell, what is this?" Do you remember when I would say it was 360 era? I think when the indie games had first started blowing up, there was a very heavily overused criticism about trial and error gaming. Sean? Because we used to talk about it a lot on Joypod. It's like, I hate trial and error gaming where you're just walking along and a pit falls below you and you're dead now. And you've got to go, okay, right, back to that bit. But recently, and I don't know if you've picked up on it, I'd say over the past 2 years, there's been a genre fully focusing on that.
Yeah. Like, which I think sort of comes from, like, have you ever seen I Want to Be the Guy? It's like a famous, like, famously really tough 2D platformer. It's basically, it's just full of stuff like that. To the point that it's just like hilarious, really. But like people have like studied it inside out, and people do speedruns of it and stuff. And then like there's been like all sorts of spin-offs from that. So yeah, it's kind of like that, and sort of ROM hack culture, like people doing insane Mario levels and stuff. It all sort of seems to stem
Mario,
from that.
Was it Super Hard Mario or something?
Yeah.
And there was that one that was really doing the rounds on Twitter and stuff. Of there was like an iPhone, the hardest game ever or something. And it was just hilarious because, you know, you try and jump on a block and the block would move. So you try it again and you make the, like you jump to where the block has moved to and then it moves back and stuff. And you've got to memorize it all, work it out and go to the next thing. And this is one of those games. And when I was looking at people talking about the game, they were comparing it to Super Meat Boy. And that doesn't do service to either of those games. You know what I mean? Like Super Meat Boy is a game where you can clearly see what you need to do, and but the skill in pulling it off is so high. And so you die a lot in Super Meat Boy, but a lot of it is down to you misjumping or you doing, you know, you can see what the obstacles are and you can jump them. This one, you could be you're in an office and the office is full of computers, but one of those computers has a ghost that comes out and punches you in the face and kills you, right? But there's no tell. There's no way of knowing that that's going to happen until you walk past it and you get punched in the face and get killed. There's puddles on the floor. Some of the puddles you just walk over. So other ones, sharks jump out and kill you. There's bits where an axe will fly at you and hit the wall. Okay, right, I'll do it again. You jump over it, it hits the wall, and then it bounces back and flies back and kills you in the back. Like it's just stuff like that. And there's a boss fight with lots of platforms that just drop. So you've got to memorize in which order that they drop, so you're on the right platform. And the only way to do that is to die, and then remember, don't be on that platform at that time. You know what I mean? So being the sort of person that lived through that period and hating that style of gameplay, I was just going, well, this is shit. You're just dying over and over again. You've got no way of finding, no way of working out other than dying. I don't understand what the point of this is. It's ridiculous. But then you start realising that the game is, you know, it's very clever in that it gives you, it's got a half-decent story behind it. You play as this guy called Timmy, and you meet the Grim Reaper, and the Grim Reaper says, look, you're going to die today, and all I can tell you is that you're going to die because your head will come off. Right? You'll be decapitated, and that's how you're going to die. And Timmy's like, okay, if I'm going to die, I mean, the only thing I'm upset about is that I want to be in bed in my pajamas. That's how I want to die. And he's saying, well, I can't tell you when you're going to die, so, you know, quick, go home and go to bed, put your pajamas on. And that's the start of the game. You're then trying to get home to put your pajamas on. But obviously you're dying a lot in the game, and every time you die, your head comes off. Like, so yeah, there's a bit of a story along the back of it. I'm not massively into the story. It's got some good writing in it, but it's sort of long drawn out sections that I think overplay it a little bit. But ultimately, like, the checkpointing in this is very clever. Like, it's very frequent, and it never feels that you have to go too far without getting to the next checkpoint. So progression isn't overly, like, it doesn't take hours to get to a bit that you need to get to. The boss fights, some of them, they do take a little bit longer, especially the one with the bird and the platforms and stuff that I was mentioning. But there's something there that just makes you keep playing, because study an area and you work out all the bits that are going to kill you, and then you avoid them, and you get to the next bit and you're like, let's just see what happens next. And then you'll be walking along, and then like a mace will fall out of the sky and almost hit your head, so you double jump, but all you needed to do was single jump, because when you double jump, you jumped into some spikes that just come out of nowhere and kill you. And you just think, oh, well, I know what to do, so I'll just do this bit again. And then that's the addiction. Like, because you see the way that you die, and the game is all about remembering how you died and where you died and avoiding that, you just see what's next. And then you go, well, no, I'm going to die now, so I'll get past this bit and then I'll turn it off. Okay, let's see what comes next. You know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. And there are times where, Sean, honestly, it's hard to explain, because I was so with you with that. You know, when we were talking about that back on Joypod and stuff, and I am so with you with that. But this is the first one that I've properly played, you know, myself. I've watched like streams of other stuff, and I kind of see why people are into them. And obviously they're there. They're really popular on Twitch. Like Twitch streamers use these games all the time because they're funny to watch.
I can see you stream this being quite funny.
No, I can't see that. I can see even James you sent streaming it.
It's like, I mean, I was laughing, and I don't think you even made a sound in it. But.
I didn't, because Joe was watching the telly next to me. But I could see James. I could see James streaming this. I really can, because I just think it'd be hilarious. And it's the sort of game that if we were all in the room together, and I just went, just play this for a bit, we'd be fucking cracking up, because it's just ridiculous. It's just needless. It's just ridiculous. And you do get the rage while you're playing it. You just, oh, fuck's sake, you know what I mean? And it's just funny to watch. So I'm probably not playing it in the best possible way, because I'm sitting playing on my own on the Switch with my headphones in. But I'm still getting something out of it. And I've sort of said to myself, look, I'm going to play this through to the end. I really am going to see it through to the end, just to see how crazy it gets me. But, you know, I've been playing in long sessions and really enjoying it, but also hating it. How do you put again, I mentioned this last week with another game, but like, we don't score games on this show, because that's not really the sort of format we do when we talk about games that we're reviewing or whatever, if you even want to call them reviews. But like, there's always at the back of your head, like, what would you even give this? Like, what score would you give this? Because it's making me so angry, and it's so much I hate about gaming, but I'm so addicted to it and I can't stop playing it. I mean, where does it sit on that scale? Like, it's weird. It's weird. But I think, I mean, next time I see you, Sean, I'm going to force you to play it for a bit. Because I just want to see you do, just that first, the Office level. It's fucking weird. But yeah, I mean, if that sounds interesting to you, then you give it a go. And if you've not played one of these games before and you don't know where you're going to sit, then, I mean, I guess, why not? Because, I mean, I'm here and I'm still going to be playing it. So, weird. We've got to somehow get James to fucking stream this game, because I just imagine his sighing and his anger, because he's got such a respect for well-designed platforming, and there's none of that in this. it's just let's see how pissed off we can get the player. It'd be quite funny to watch him struggle with his emotions. Yeah, Rage in Peace, it's called.
9 out of 10.
It's out on the Switch and the PC, I think. Not sure if it's out on the Xbox and PS4, it might be, but look it up.
Cool.
That's it.
Shall I do questions?
That is it. Yeah, let's do questions.
We'll blast through them, because we've been on a while, haven't we?
Yeah, be moody.
Yeah, fucking questions. Fucking, if you want to, send them to thecomputergameshow@gmail.com, but I'd rather you didn't. Paul Beauchamp, this is quite a long one. It's not really a question, but whatever. It says, firstly, bravo on a great podcast. I've only recently discovered it, and I'm now enjoying being able to delve into the back catalogue and soothe my daily commute. Despite only being a recent convert to the podcast, I've actually followed a few of you on Twitter for some time, and that's actually what my question/confession is all about. I love gaming, but actually have very few gaming friends, so on occasion I've attempted to strike up a gaming-related conversation with someone on Twitter in the hope of finding a kindred spirit. Having followed David for some time, I could see that, like me, he was a young dad and a big gamer, so I attempted to make friendly conversation. All was well until I somehow became entangled in an exchange between him and Virgin Media. After David complained about his broadband service. I won't go into the excruciating details, but I'm pretty sure my misguided attempts to seem helpful and friendly would have come across as fucking mental.
Wait. Was he working for Virgin Media? Was he using the Virgin Media health account or whatever? Because you were unhelpful.
He says, this example of self-sabotage has haunted me since, and I've never tweeted Dave since. He's probably, hopefully, doesn't remember, but if he does, I seek his forgiveness. I'm honestly not a mentalist stalker. Anyway, keep up the good work. Yours shamefully, Paul.
Paul? No, I don't remember that. And more importantly, I don't remember getting angry at anyone else. So what you said to me, I don't know what it was, unless it was offensive. I don't imagine it was. But what you said to me I'm almost 100% confident in saying that you did not upset me in the slightest. So don't worry about it and carry on tweeting me. It's all good.
Yeah.
You know what? That makes me feel horrible. But the only thing that I can think that happens, and this happens all the time, not just to people that tweet me, but people that text me and send me emails and stuff. I have a shit memory, and if someone tweets me, sometimes I look at the notification and go, oh shit, I'll reply to that, but I'm, at work or I'm busy or, kids about or whatever. And I forget. I really do. I just totally forget. And it makes me, I think sometimes, oh God, did they just think I was ignoring them? Mm-hmm. Because I'm not, and then it's been 2 days and now I've remembered, and now it seems a bit awkward if I go, hey, remember that when we were talking about that 2 days ago, just to reply. It's just, so it's on me. It's not on you. Trust me, Paul.
I had one time, I had a guy who, in one day tweeted at me a couple of times with some admittedly not brilliant jokes, and I didn't respond. And then later that day, I looked at his feed, and after me not replying to him a couple of times, he was just like, well, guys, looks like I've been blocked. He was fucking properly pissed off. He thought I must have blocked him, and that's why I just wasn't seeing his tweets, and that's why I wasn't responding.
Did you say anything?
No, it's too weird.
Yeah, because what do you say? Oh, is this about me? Because no, I haven't blocked you.
Yes, no, it wasn't about you. Fucking big head.
Well, all right, ego. About you, Sean.
And I find a good sort of 85% of the time, if I haven't responded, it's probably because I couldn't think of anything funny to say.
Yeah, I get that as well.
Rather than just saying haha,
I would
or just give it a like and walk away,
Yeah, a like and walk away is a good one. But the 99, I would say 99% of the time, it's me going, I'll reply to that. And then all of a sudden it's a week later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? It's the same as, say, with Joe and with my brother. My brother's like, hey, do you want to come over Saturday night? And I'll go, let me just check with Joe, and then what's that over there? And then it's Saturday night and Michael's going, are you coming over then? Oh. I forgot you'd even asked. I'm a nightmare. My brain is fucked.
Yeah, same. Tweets.
Don't do drugs.
God, mate, I didn't, and I think if anything, all we're proving is that fucking do what you want doesn't make any difference.
I'm proving that definitely.
Oh, actually, you can't remember anything before high school. Is that right?
No, I can remember bits. As I said, my memory is completely fucked when I'm sitting out. Have I said this how bad my memory is? Did I say this last week? We sat I'll sit down at a dinner table with my brother and my family and everything, and my brother will go, "Hey Dave, do you remember Reading Away from 2004?" And I'll go, when Paul Moody scored that banger in the 82nd. Yeah, it was well good, wasn't it? Yeah. But to be fair, why did he take him off straight afterwards? Why did he sub him off? I don't know. It was weird, wasn't it? And then Joel would just be looking at me open mouth, going, David, at 5 o'clock yesterday, I asked you to pick up some bread on the way home from work and you forgot. And I'm going, I don't know what's going on in my brain.
It's funny what sticks, isn't it? Right, tweets. If you want to tweet us, do so at ComputerGamePod on Twitter. Athene at Athene Allen says, why did Sean play the Quiet Man when he could be playing Undertale? Because I still...
For the entertainment.
Well, yeah, basically. The thing with Undertale is, like, because it's been around for so long and everyone loves it and everyone's talked about it so much, you know what I mean? You're just like, I don't feel I'll have anything to add to that. And I know that's the real... Like, that should not matter in any way.
No.
I just, for some reason that, like, throws me a bit. Like, I'm not going to be...
But Sean, when you've got the profile like you have, mate,
that's
that
true.
Does matter,
People still need to know.
It does matter.
That's what the
People
fans
I love the fact
still need
that
to know what I think about it.
You decide on your gaming by how much you can add to the overall conversation.
I think, it's just when it's been around for so long, I'm just like, well, I'm not going to have anything to say about it. It'll be interesting.
James played it this week, so...
James.
Sean, you don't have to say anything about it. Play it for the experience.
James has got it covered.
For you. Do you know what? You're so great because what you do, you don't play games for yourself, Sean. You play games for the general public.
I do. Do it to.
That's what I say to Joe, right? when I'm setting up for a stream, and she's like, "Do you have to stream tonight, or do you have to podcast?" I go, Joe, there's a nation to entertain. And I overheard her on the phone to her mum the other day where I said goodnight to her because I was setting up for a stream. And she went, he says there's a nation to entertain to her mum.
That was the other week. I was in the car with New. What did she say? I can't remember. She made a crap joke. And I was like, no, that wasn't funny. And she's like,
fuck blocked her.
Yeah, blocked her. And she's like, oh, fuck off. Like, you don't get to decide what's funny and what isn't. I said, Nusheen, I entertain several thousand people on a weekly basis.
That's where you're
I may
wrong.
not to get to decide it for everyone, but for you, I do.
I'm the arbiter of humour.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
No, I was all up for James playing Undertale and talking about it, but didn't he say it's like all right? And he's
but that's high praise from James.
That's true. Yeah,
that's
he
game of the year stuff for James.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't done the proper ending, has he? So everyone's going to shout at him when he talks about it next week. So look forward to that.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of this. So what, he's played it and not. Oh, I guess we'll hear about it next week. But
yeah, the main hook with Undertale is that like you don't have to kill anyone. Like there's clever ways of doing all the fights so that you can do basically what they call a pacifist run, and that's how you get the proper ending. I gather he has not done that.
Oh, so, James.
It's going to get told off. Sorry, James. Not my fault. Right. Is it Choduk or Chod UK? I don't know.
Chod UK.
Yeah, it's Chod UK.
Chod UK. All right. He says
this isn't the international Chod. This is the UK version of Chod.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a Frank Sidebottom avatar, so I'd be very impressed if he was from anywhere else. He says, is Tamoor's cat meowing more annoying than Sean's dog jangling? Plus, do any of the other guys have pets? If so, what have you got and why don't we hear it?
Yeah, so this is because during like the Red Dead Redemption 2 chat, you heard Tamoor's cat purring away.
I wanted to edit because I heard it in the edit, but you can't just edit it out when he's talking. It was like the cat was meowing every time he spoke, and I was like, I can't cut that out. I can't cut that bit out.
Yeah, I've got a dog and I've got fucking laminate flooring. Not a lot I can do about it, unfortunately.
It's always a surprise to me, actually, when your dog goes mad, because I don't hear it on this Discord call. And then when I re-listen to the podcast, I'm like, wow, that dog's really loud. But it's always a surprise, because I never hear it on this.
No, I do apologise if it's annoying, but yeah, not a lot I can do, unfortunately. Do you guys have pets? You don't, do you?
No pets. Joe's starting the old, can we get a dog? But that's not happening in rented accommodation.
Well, that was the thing. Like, when we finally bought a house, it was like, and let's get a dog within like 2 days. But
how you find it with Baby?
It's fine. She's great. She absolutely loves him. Yeah, like, she's been really patient with him because she's a staffy, so you get the whole is she all right with the baby? Yeah, she's fucking brilliant. It's really friendly. She loves him. They like sort of sit, like he'll sit on the floor and she'll just come over and like she's really like, obviously, like we weren't like idiots about it. Like, we were really careful, and we made sure that she was like really gentle around him and stuff. And because obviously she was so excited to see him, like she would have just like climbed all over him, and like, you know, she's got claws, so that would not have been enjoyable for him. So there was like a gentle introduction, but yeah, they're mates. It's good. Like, he fucking drops food for her and laughs when she picks it up. So it's all good.
Because my family dog was still about when Harry was born.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know if you've met Harris, but he was the most placid dog on the face of, like, basically a cat, right? Didn't bark, didn't do anything.
That Vine, man, that you did, where he was just lying on the floor and you were like zooming the camera on out and going, "It's Harris, the most fun dog in the world."
He's just like staring at me like I was a piece of shit. Yeah, no, that was Harris.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, like, I loved him to death, but he, like, even when Harry was, you know, like, because kids pull tails and shit.
Yeah.
And knowing how placid that dog was, it wasn't a reflection on the dog, but, you know, you pull a fucking dog's tail over and over again, they're going to get pissed off at some point. So, you know, that would be a bit of a concern, I guess, but I don't know. It's not happening anyway. Yeah. Not happening.
I mean, I definitely couldn't
keep out the positive.
I couldn't go through the faff of like having another puppy and a child. Like, it would have to be just like a rescue that's like 1 or 2 years old.
Yeah.
But then if it's a rescue, you don't know the background, and you know, I don't know.
Yep.
Not that I'm not like anti like, you know, taking a rescue dog.
God,
because
no. I mean, Harris was a rescue dog, and he was just utterly incredible. Yeah. I love that little bastard.
Yeah. Right, what else we got? Athene's back. She says, people often accuse Gervais and Merchant of making up Carl Pilkington. Which member of your team is most likely to be made up?
Well, do we count Adam Capone?
Yeah, I mean, Adam Capone is our version, isn't it?
I mean, I've met him, and I still sort of regard him as a fictional character.
Yeah. I think, no, out of the 4 of us, probably James, right?
Yeah, I'll say James.
Sorry, James.
Sorry, mate.
But yeah, James.
And basically, we couldn't be asked writing this weekend, so that's why he's not here.
Yeah, you didn't give him a script.
Yeah, couldn't be bothered to write a script on the weekend.
Too tired.
So James is busy, in inverted commas.
Yeah. Right, we've got a question from Dan at Tree Smurf. He says, if you could only ever use one bridge for the rest of your life, real or fictional, which would it be and why?
Good question. That is what, real and fictional.
Real or fictional, yeah.
Yeah, we've all got favourite fictional bridges, haven't we, boys?
I can't say one sticks out. A fictional bridge.
Do you know what? Favourite fictional bridge? Witcher 3. The one, you know, it's like the town is just like built onto the bridge, like. It's like in the middle of the city, but like as you're going across the bridge, it's like all built up and there's all stuff going on. That's cool. However, my actual choice would probably have to be where the M6 crosses the Thelwall Viaduct. Because that is the route to T-Bay, which is the greatest motorway services on planet Earth.
Why is it so good?
It's basically like a posh farm shop, but on the motorway. It's fucking ridiculous.
Is it a cliche?
Does that have Starbucks and KFC and McDonald's?
No, it doesn't have any of that shit, mate. It's got all posh, like, sausage rolls and biscuits and fizzy pop.
That sounds like the worst one.
It's fucking great, mate.
If it has Starbucks, Maccadees and KFC, you're basically like, you've hit gold there. We've done this before, definitely, but the amount of motor services you like drive past, you're like, I'm starving hungry and I busted a piss. Burger King and a Greg's, fuck off, I'll keep driving.
What's wrong with Greg's?
No, trust me, I'm a big fan of Greg's, but I didn't want that on the motor. I want something big and...
I know what you mean, because there aren't as many of the McDonald's ones, right?
No.
Always feels that way whenever I'm waiting
so when
for
you see it, it's like, oh, there they are. They're the arches. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Paying double the amount that you would pay in a normal... Is it a cliche observation to point out that every service station has some army man in there walking about?
What?
I don't know if I've ever
in
clocked
uniform.
That.
I don't remember seeing it.
Mate, honestly, ever since I pointed it out to Joe, I said someone in military uniform, every service station walking about, right? Obviously stopping off somewhere, whatever, but they're always in uniform. And the amount of times Joe will be like, we'd be walking out of a service station, she'll go, see, that one, we didn't see anyone in uniform here, did we? And then as we're walking out, someone's walking in uniform. I'm going, there you go. It's crazy. You see it all the time.
I'll keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Famous bridges though, Matt. Anyone that you?
Nothing sticks out.
London Bridge.
Leeds Bridge. Yeah, there you go. If James was here, he would say Stamford Bridge, but he's not here. So.
Well, that's getting closed down, isn't it? Soon. Ain't they building a new stadium yet? Anyway, this is a ramble.
Right.
My famous bridge.
What is it? Still going?
Bridge. I'm still thinking about bridges.
I met a guy at work who actually, like, we did a all day sort of team. No, it wasn't team building. It was where some guy who looked like a disgraced magician was like, "Oh, here's how you inspire yourself at work. There's some sweets on the table. Eat one of them. It's good brain food." It's full of shit. And he wasn't wearing any shoes. Anyway, what we had to go around, like, our icebreaker was like, "Oh, here's what I do and my hobbies are." And one guy said one of his hobbies was bridges.
What do you mean? The hobby is bridges. What does that mean?
Just interested in bridges, the design of them, and the history. And
I mean, jokes aside, they are pretty fascinating. When you look into the structural engineering of them, you're like, fucking hell, man! How are they even staying up? Let alone like carrying all this load. Yeah. But at the same time, come on, mate. Certain things you don't need to worry yourself about.
Do you think he's got a bridge podcast? And he's like, "Oh, some guy there said he was into computer games." And what fucking knob.
There's got to be. And then someone emails in and says, "You're not considering pedestrian bridges enough. You're not representing." Sorry, I'm sorry, Mike. It's just the way we are.
Right, should we railway bridges, you cunt.
Let's move on. Luke Summerhays at Buscalilly says, if you had to completely erase one from history, Breath of the Wild or Dark Souls?
Oh my god, I totally misread this, and I misread this about 70 times, because not only did I misread it from Twitter when I read it, I then copied it into this doc and then keep misreading it, and just then you reading it, I'm like, oh no, it doesn't say the word I thought it said.
What did you think it said?
I thought it said if you had to completely erase one from memory, so you can like start one again for the first time.
So you can play it again.
It's a better question.
That's probably a better question.
Question. I've improved it.
No, but I mean, that's easy. Dark Souls.
Go on. Why?
Because Breath of the Wild is a much more fun game to play.
Yeah,
much more fun.
Dark Souls has inspired so much. Would you not say?
Can you imagine? So if you just erased Dark Souls, everyone would be like, fucking hell, you played this Dark Souls 2, it's wicked.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, I love Dark Souls. I think it's one of the best games of that generation, but my word, I didn't get the sort of schoolboy, I'm going on a adventure and discovering stuff feeling that I did, and just like, making me feel like an excited child again that I got with Breath of the Wild. It might be my favourite game of all time, apart from Rocket League. No, I think it's up there. I loved that game so much.
Yeah,
that's an easy one for me.
Yeah. I mean, I struggle with the decision more than that, but I can't really argue with anything you've just said. And, like, you could argue that, like, okay, so if you remove... I mean, I'm getting a bit, like, technical with it now. If you remove Dark Souls, like, Demon Souls already happened. Like, that thing, like, that seed was planted, whereas Breath of the Wild...
Bloodborne.
Is... Yeah, exactly. Like, whereas Breath of the Wild is... okay, like it is like a collection of ideas implemented better than they ever have been previously, but it's like at the moment it is very much like a singular thing. There is nothing else quite like it.
Absolutely.
So on that basis,
really, if you think about it,
and I don't think there's going to be anything quite like it again.
Yeah.
I mean, Breath of the Wild 2, I mean, fine, but then you know what to expect going into it.
Well, this is it. I mean, that is it's the difficult second album, isn't it? It's fucking impossible.
That's what makes me... Yeah, that's the thing that really, really bums me out, is that I will never have that feeling again that game gave me. Because I hadn't had it before, and yes, there will be other games that come away, that come out that blow me away. But it was that feeling of being transported back to, I mean, it's the closest thing, and probably even surpassed that feeling that I had when I first played Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Where I just thought, oh my God, this adventure is so exciting that I'm going to be sick. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the feeling that game gave me, and then fucking Breath of the Wild come along.
You're right,
just,
the feeling
Jesus
of adventure,
Christ.
I haven't felt anything like it before, and I certainly haven't felt it since. Like, it generally felt like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen around this corner? Is there even a corner? You know, like, just the feeling of, I haven't even unlocked the towers, and I don't know what's going to be around the corner. That was an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
The fact that I'd almost completed the game, had no idea about the labyrinths, and then I was just panning around the map, just seeing if I could see weird stuff, and I was like, the fuck is that? And then travelling there and seeing it and just going, just like throwing up. It's just so good.
Yeah, can't argue with that. That's it.
Cool.
Bedtime.
That's it.
Bedtime, boys.
Yeah.
Well,
Tetris Effect
bedtime.
Well,
Or actually,
uploading the
try
show and
see
doing
what I've been
some
missing.
work in the kitchen, and then probably playing Tetris for a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right. Well, listen, Matt. You tell him.
Tell him what to do.
Like, usually James and I stream on Thursdays, but James is busy, so I don't know. Maybe me and James will be on. Maybe it'll just be me, but we'll try and do something Thursday night at 9 o'clock on Twitch. Sure, I'll find some time to do something.
So I will try and do Shenmue on Wednesday night then, because I didn't do it last week, because I was going to do it last night, but I got way too drunk on Friday night and then Saturday night and then throughout Sunday. So I was just tired and in a weird state of half hungover, half pissed on Sunday night, and I thought there's no way I should be streaming. So I didn't, but I'll try and get some streaming done Wednesday.
Cool. Yeah. So debut streaming tonight. If you're listening to this on the daily episode comes out, me or maybe James and I will be doing a stream on Thursday night. Sean's stream of The Quiet Man is up on our YouTube channel. Just search for us on YouTube. All our links to all our social media places and everything else is in the show notes on the podcast player you're listening to us right now. That's it. Oh yeah, like Apple podcast reviews, they always help. So if you've got 2 minutes and don't mind doing it and haven't done it already, please leave us a lovely review on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we haven't had one for a while, so please get your reviews in. Just leave a little short review on there, because it really does push us up the charts and things. Yeah. That would help. It
really does help.
Anyway, until next week.
Yeah, assuming I'm not ill again.
Soon. Assuming you're not ill,
and James back.
Isn't too busy.
So that means so you got 6 episodes left. That's it.
4 now after this one, I think.
Ah, fuck.
Let's do it on the thing, because this is what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
Do it on the fucking show. Fuck it. So we got the 19th we're recording, the 26th we're recording, so that's 2. Yep. The 3rd and the 10th. Yep. So that after that is the 17th. And then after that's the 24th. Now we're not fucking recording Christmas Eve.
So we'll record.
So the 17th will be the Game of the Year show, or the 16th. We'll probably record it on the Sunday.
Yeah, it'll be a big one.
So it'll take a long
It'll
time
be Sunday
to do.
afternoon job. I have to get signed off, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. So I've got 4 shows left after this.
Shit.
4 shows. Then we're on to series 2 of TCGS.
The difficult second series.
Second season. Oh,
it's
brilliant.
Right.
It'll be fine.
It will.
Maybe.
Big. It's going to be big.
Just keep saying it. It might come true.
It's going to be fine.
It'll be fine.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be right.
Thanks for living it.
Yeah.
Who's going to say that?
Well, no one's going to say it.
That's your
thing. We'll come up with our own thing, won't we, Sean?
Yeah, we'll come up with...
What's going to be your own thing? Come up with it now.
Come up with so many of our own things. It's going to be fine.
Matt, come up with your sign off. What are you going to do? Now, quick, go.
Thanks for the wicked games.
That's it. Goodbye.